The voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin and Brett Stats Noiseworthy.
Welcome in. They are officially underway at Augusta. Boy, Mark Leishman got off to a heck of a start early in the day. He's dropped off significantly. He was 4 under through the first 6 holes. That's pretty impressive. And he was playing the front 9 and doing that. That's really impressive. But he's back down to 1 under.
Everybody going out of 1 tee, though.
Yeah. It was. Did you get up at 6:45 to watch Lee Elder and Jack Nicklaus and Gary Player, or were you like me? You watched it later on the highlights.
Being up at 6:45 has not been a challenge lately for me. I was up a while by 6:45. So, yes, I don't know if I saw it live, but I saw it around 7:05. I don't know if that was live to tape or what it was, but, yeah, I was up. And you mentioned the fast start for Brian Leishman, and you look at the leaderboard. I know day one and the old saying you can't win it on day one, but you can lose it. So you tell me who among these guys could still be around on Sunday. Brian Harmon.
Yes.
Hideki Matsuyama.
I think so.
Yeah. Patrick Reed.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Will Zalatoris.
Not a chance.
Christian Bezuidenhout.
God bless you.
Thank you.
Bezuidenhout? Bezuidenhout, I think is how you pronounce it. Bezuidenhout. I doubt that he'll be around. But if he is, we'll know how to pronounce his name.
Webster Simpson.
Yes, sir. He sure could.
Shane Lowry.
You got a newer leaderboard than me because I don't even see Lowry up there. I see Rose.
No, I think I got an older one than you.
I see Rose next at 2 under through 10. So we know.
I think I got an older one than you.
Yeah, we know he can. I'm going to tell you, Shug Jae Im, he could definitely be around.
He sure could be, Dave.
He's 2 under through 8, so he's still got a lot of birdie holes.
You got Justin Rose. You got your guy, John Rahm. So right now, could possibly look like late Sunday afternoon.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There are certainly some people on that board right now that clearly could be there on Sunday. And, it's just going to be a lot of fun to watch the whole way. I don't see Shane Lowry up there. I just renewed it. So Justin Rose now is 2 under through 10. But Im is the guy. Watch for Im. Remember how good he was. They called him the machine.
He is.
He was so good at the President's Cup a couple of years ago. That is where we all got to really know the young man, and I think he's got a chance to really be a great, great player. So we'll keep our eye on him for sure. I did mention Lee Elder, Gary Player. Did you see his swing? And then he kicked his leg afterwards. I mean, that dude never gets old. What is he, 80?
I thought it was Jack LaLanne.
He does look like Jack LaLanne. That's true. How old is he now? Is he 85?
85, and Lee Elder, I think 86. Lee Elder unable to strike the ball. But you know what? I'm going to call it 350 right down the irrigation line.
I will too. I think when they named him, he was capable at that point.
Yeah, I think he was scuffling this morning.
I do too. I noticed, they said you've got the honor, and he got up, but he was wearing an oxygen mask, and you knew he wasn't going to swing then. But he got the adulation that he's deserved, and finally, and probably Lee Elder should have been included 5 years ago. Honestly, if we were doing these things totally correctly all the way through time, he would have been in earlier.
Yeah, and it was really poignant and always good and often cooking. And Patrick Reed, if he's there on Sunday afternoon, that'll be 2. He may not be very well liked, but I don't think he cares.
You know what? I heard a really good. Sort of an analysis of what golf needs. And let's face it, golf, we talked with John Gowen on Wednesday about this, about how big golf has gotten, and it's a resurgence, and every golf operator and every golf fan that loves the game wants this popularity, this trend of people coming back to the game to continue. And I heard this, I thought it was really a good analysis. It's why your guy, Bryson DeChambeau, is so important to the game, and why Patrick Reed may be the same way. Every sport needs a villain. Every sport needs somebody that they don't like, somebody to root against. You got to have your guys you love, your heroes, but you got to have your so-called villains. And I think that DeChambeau and Reed are those two guys that the sport really needs.
I'm trying to think if Bryson DeChambeau and Patrick Reed, and I'll open this up to the text line, 70236. If they were Memphis wrestlers from past and were bad guys, who would they be?
Was Jackie Fargo a bad guy?
Not really. Could be edgy, but mostly was a good guy, crowd favorite. Jerry Lawler would go back and forth. He'd be a bad guy on Monday night in Memphis and a good guy on Thursday night in Louisville. And
but
he
was the hero here all the time, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I must confess to you, I did have lunch with him today. Not that I'm name dropping.
You did?
I did.
Any headlocks?
And he look.
He'd take the strap down on you.
You got to realize this guy.
Did he take the strap down, Dave, and pile drive you?
No, he's on my side. He's my tag team partner, just in case you get a little too frisky.
So he threw fire at other lunch mates. Y'all teamed up with each other.
Yeah, we all love each other. I will say this to you. He's 71.
I saw him turn on Jackie Fargo in 1975 at the Coliseum, so I know he's capable of it.
Let me tell you, he's 71.
He's going to turn on you, Dave.
No.
He's turning on you one of these days at lunch. Fire, strap coming down, and then pile drive you, and you'll end up like Andy Kaufman.
It'll be tough to get away from him, too, because he's
you'll be an REM song.
Listen to this. He still plays adult softball. I'm not kidding you, with 20-year-olds. I mean, with guys that are 20. I said to him, he plays first base, and I said I was serious. I said, Jerry, do you, like, if you get a base hit, because he's really got good hand-eye coordination and timing, I said, are you running to first base? And he goes, oh, yeah. I do attempt to sprint. Now, I don't know how fast he's moving. He's 71 years old, but he's actually lost some weight, and he's on his way to WrestleMania, where he's doing the pre-game shows, and he's doing one
great.
Match. So he's
living a good life. And we know when his hip got shot is, and you can ask him about it. I don't think I'm violating any code here, but Joe LeDuc kind of went off script and slung him over the top rope into the table one night.
Didn't somebody actually run him over? He's told this story before, where he actually got run over doing a bit outside Channel 5 in the parking lot.
Yeah, and then they came back with baseball bats and took out his Cadillac.
Crazy.
I mean, that's how topsy-turvy it was at 1960 Union on Saturday mornings in the 70s.
That is nutty stuff. But back to watching Augusta. You know, the thing we love.
Well, you know, we would never get in the Masters now for equating the Masters to Saturday morning wrestling.
I'm trying to steer this back in the right way.
Thank you. Please do. Grab the wheel, Dave.
We love tradition, and that's what the ceremonial tee-off is. And I mentioned how good Gary Player looked. I thought Jack Nicklaus looked good, too. His swing was rather fluid. It looked like he hit it right down the left side perfectly. I think he even surprised himself, and he was funny when he put the tee in the ground, and Jack's gained a couple of pounds here, I'd say, since the last ceremonial tee-off a couple of years ago. When he put the peg in the ground, he goes, oh, man, that's the hard part. And the whole place laughed. It was good. And then he hit a good shot.
It is the hard part. He was there in November. He did it in November, but wasn't many people around.
Did he? I didn't realize they did that. He and Gary, huh?
Yeah, I wonder how many times he's taken back a golf club.
I don't know.
In his life.
I don't know.
How many times back and through?
Let me ask you this. Do you think, I don't know the answer, but do you think he went out 2 days ago or before he got there for the par? Oh, they didn't do the par 3 this year. Do you think he went out in Florida or in Ohio?
In Palm Beach.
Do you think
Yeah,
he
he
went
hit some
out
balls.
and he went to hit some balls so that he would look good on this one
Yeah.
tee shot that he knew was going to be photographed and sent around the world? I bet he did. I bet
Guarantee
he
he
practiced.
Guarantee he
100%.
did.
Yeah.
And he probably went over and hit a few balls this morning before that. I wouldn't say a large bucket.
I don't know.
At
It's
the
awfully
local driving range.
I think it looked
but it was
pretty-
awfully early, too.
It looked cold there. He did it at 6:45, so you're talking about – well, you know what? That's 6:45. I don't know if that's Eastern time or Central time, honestly.
No, it was central for us.
It was
7:45 for
okay,
them.
7:45 there. It's cold. He would have had to go out about 7:15. Hit a couple.
John Rahm level par right now. He's got to like his day. And Bubba Watson 2 over.
Well, three under is telling you, and nobody's running away with it. There's still many to play. By the way, I'm bragging on him, and he bogeys 9. 3 under would tell you we're not getting to 20 this time around.
Not a chance.
No, not
a chance.
Not a chance. Boy, it's been a good day the last 24 hours for the Tigers football and basketball. Last night, I'm going to start with football because the big news today is the hoops team. Last night, a kid named Sutton Smith, and this is how Tiger football has changed, Brett. Tiger Smith is a really good senior at a powerhouse high school in Georgia, somewhere in Georgia. And I think they say he's about 5'9", 185. I think that's what he is. 4-star guy. And he's the first member of the 2022 class of Ryan Silverfield. And we're going to talk a bunch of Tiger football next week because a week from tomorrow is the Blue-Gray game, or Friday Night Lights, whatever they're calling it this year. I think it's Friday Night Lights. And this kid, Sutton Smith, who I think has options to go a lot of different places, 4-star guy, he said he wanted to be a Tiger and is the first commitment because he wanted to be the next Tony Pollard. I mean, here's a guy in Georgia who wants to emulate a guy from Melrose High School in Memphis on the Memphis Tiger football team. I can promise you that would never have happened until the last 2 or 3 years for this football program in the entire 40 years that I was here. That is how far it has all come. That is all absolutely because of Justin Fuente, Mike Norvell, and Ryan Silverfield. And I'm going to throw in Tom Bowen because he was all a part of changing the culture. You're getting a guy this early to commit because he wants to be like a former Memphis high school player who prospered in Memphis and is now in the NFL. When would that have happened earlier?
It's spectacular, and it's what a winning culture is all about.
It really is, and it is a lot of fun. I know I saw a tweet of yours too. As long as we're talking some spring football and football in the fall, the dark horse teams in the SEC. I can't remember. You tweeted out where did that come from? But it's Ole Miss and A&M. Wouldn't that be great?
This is one person's Twitter site,
right?
His opinion,
right?
But long time till we're booking rooms for
Atlanta,
Ole Miss and Georgia in the SEC championship game, but got a chance.
Hey, you're in that conversation. That and you gotta tip your cap.
Go through Bama.
You do, but you got to tip your cap to Lane Kiffin because 2 years ago nobody would have said that.
The program was dead.
Yeah, so that is fun for the Ole Miss fans. As well. And now let's get to the news of the Tigers because this is really terrific. So Memphis today gets the commitment from a blue chipper who was, I want to say, coming out of the pre-COVID year, he was the number 35 overall rated player in America. He went to Miami where he played early and got hurt and really wasn't able to play. He was projected at some sites as a lottery pick. 6'5", big NBA body kind of guy. His name is Earl Timberlake. And you start to take a look, 6'5", every little piece. The kid Davion Moore they signed, what was he, 6'6", 6'7"? I mean, the only small guy that Memphis is going to have at this point is Lomax at a legit 6 feet tall. Everybody else is going to be, it seems, interchangeable. This is what I really think Penny is after. Now, there are also reports that the Lawson brothers, first it was Chandler, now Jonathan has been offered by Penny. So both the brothers have been offered. And my question, and I throw this out to our texters on the First Bank text line at 70236, and to you, Brett, and to Drew, if you're Penny and you're looking here, do you go with these young guys or do you continue to scour the portal where you've been pretty successful? You took a kid
Experience
away. But
I want guys that know how to play.
Okay. What they need, in my mind, just looking for needs, is you still need a big guy because you've lost Cisse,
point guard.
and you need a point guard. So you take the positions, the point guard and the big guy over the Lawson brothers, because that could be the dilemma that Penny would face.
Yeah, it sure could be. I want experience. I want guys that know how to play. Guys like DeAndre Williams, and it sounds like that Timberlake is one of those kind of players, and totally reshaping, revamping of a roster that everybody has to do now. I mean, it is no 30-year mortgages anymore in college basketball, maybe not even in college football. It's all year-to-year hitches, and fans are going to have to accept it and get used to it and get the lineup card out and learn the teams every year. It's not going to be the 4-year letterman, the 3-year starter, and that kind of stuff anymore.
And then the big guy that I've heard could be the one that is being talked about is a kid named Trey Mitchell from UMass. I do not really know him at all. I just heard that name. And then there is a point guard, believe it or not, at Western Carolina that is a pure point guard. That is the position.
Well, Michigan got a point guard from Yale, and a lot of these names, Dave, you're right. I didn't know Timberlake. I didn't know the player from Hampton a week ago, and a lot of these names are new. They're not as ballyhooed as the 4 and 5 stars and kind of their promotion game. But here's the difference in a lot of these guys as opposed to the 4 and 5 stars. They've already shown they can do it at the college level. We're just going on high school hope at a lot of these 4s and 5s that really don't play out or pan out.
There are some, though, that are very high on Jonathan Lawson, and that the Chandler Lawson is a guy who can really play the role and knows the system of Penny. So it is an interesting dilemma. Vincent on the First Bank phone lines at 360-8255. He wants to chime in. We'll take a call or two for just a second. Oh, really, we'll only – Vincent, you'll be it because we got to do top and not, and we are really packed as always today. Vincent, your turn. Thank you for calling Sports Time on Sports 56. Go ahead.
Hey, good afternoon, guys. How you guys doing?
Wonderful.
Well, I heard Stat said that he wanted to experience guys. Well, Chandler Lawson will be a junior this year, so he is an experienced guy, and he played on a top 10, top 15 program, so he knows how to play defense. He knows he's more of a glorified role player. I mean, he can do some things. He has talent, but he was playing behind almost an All-American power forward at Oregon, which is one of the reasons he didn't get a lot of playing time. So a lot of people think that, well, he didn't have that many stats, but he was playing behind this guy. Name starts with the O. I can't think of his name, but basically that's why he didn't get the playing time that he got. He actually played pretty good against Memphis when we played them last year.
Played as a freshman,
yeah. Yeah, I think he got about 10 points, 5, 6 rebounds. And also I wanted to say, Jonathan Lawson, I'm going to tell you the thing about him. Jonathan Lawson has the unique title of winning 3 state titles at 3 different schools.
Yeah, we mentioned that yesterday.
Most valuable player this year on a team with some high-level recruits with Mike Miller. So what I'm saying, when you think about it, I think Jonathan can play point. He's a big guard, but he can play point. I think the Warren guy can play point. Alex can play point, and Lester Quinones can play point.
He sure can.
And basically, when you have the positionless basketball, like sometimes when DJ was running point, with the ball in his hands toward the end of the game, you really don't have to have the true point guard. A lot of people feel like, well, we need that true point guard, and it would be good to have. But basically, we could make by committee. I think they need another big man to go up to replace Musa. And I think if they can get these 2 Lawson guys, they'll probably have Jaden Holloway's scholarship turn into academic or Pitt may just pay his way or something like that. And then you have a roster comparable to the Louisville Cardinals. Remember back in the 80s when the Louisville Cardinals used to have a team for 6'5", the 6'8" guys, interchangeable guys.
The McRays.
Switch and guard. Yeah, McRae, Derek Smith, Wilder Brown, Derek Griffith, Jerry Eves. I think that's what he's doing, maybe a little bit bigger. But we need to be stronger this year because one of the problems that we've always had kind of slight teams. And I looked at Baylor, man, them guys have some grown men out there playing.
There's no doubt. Vincent?
They have some legitimate grown men. Thank you.
Thank you much. So you vote the Lawsons over the position of point and big. It is time for top and not top.
Story of the day.
Top story of the day. Maybe I blew it because Brett's supposed to be the one that intros all of that. Top story of the day for me is the Grizz win their fourth in a row. They do it again with a lot of teamwork. A lot of 30s here. 30 assists. 30 bench points. Grayson Allen had 30 points. The team hit 17 threes. They out-rebounded the Hawks by 12. Brett, they're 3-0. Perfect on this road trip. 4 wins in a row, 3 games over 500, 5 games over the Pelicans for the final play-in spot, and they're still doing this without Winslow and Clark, and Morant is like just half of what he was. He's got a bad back. It's amazing what's going on there. Your top story?
Masters in April finally underway. Very different world than 2 years ago. Global pandemic. No Tiger now. Brooks Koepka injured. Dustin Johnson with a November green jacket. Limited fans. But still, we're here. And it feels like the sports world is about to reset.
It sure does. You know what? That is true. You don't get the sense that when you looked at Augusta today and you saw the 3 on the master for the ceremonial shot, and then from the video I see, you don't get to feel like we are still in the pandemic. Excellent point.
Not top story of the day.
That is a weird story. Former NFL player Phillip Adams. Remember him? He played as a defensive back in 78 games over 5 years with 6 different teams, played collegiately at South Carolina State. Somehow he had a total meltdown, killed 5 people, including a prominent doctor, his wife, 2 grandkids, and a person that was working at their house, then killed himself. 5 people and himself. No motive known. What an awful story for all of those families and for the family of Phillip Adams, who he's a father himself, which is why he stayed in the South Carolina area. This was in Rock Hill, South Carolina, where this occurred. They were trying to get him because he'd gone off and on sort of with depression. They tried to get him to move back to Texas where a lot of his family is, but he didn't want to leave his son, and then he ends up killing a 9-year-old and a 6-year-old that were grandkids. It just makes no sense.
Opening day in St. Louis, about 30% of capacity. Baseball should be at least 50% already by now, and by 100% by Labor Day. If Texas can do it, then why not more? Time to reopen.
And those are your top and your not top stories. We will go down to Augusta. We'll get the real true sense of it all from Doug Bell. He comes your way as soon as we come back. He's Smith. We're going to make our baseball picks. We'll talk Tigers with Greg Gaston at about 5 o'clock, and then at 5:30, Steve Earhart will talk about the AutoZone Liberty Bowl dinner they're going to have for Peyton Manning, and, of course, their golf tournament, which raises a bunch of money for St. Jude. So all that's still to come. We are officially underway on this gorgeous Thursday. It's Masters Thursday on Sportstime on Sports 56.
Sports 56 mornings with Peter Edmiston and Anthony Zane. Weekday mornings from 7 till 10 on Sports 56, 98.5 and 96.1.
Golfers, tee it up this year at Edwin Watts Golf Shops with the hottest new arrivals from Titleist. Introducing the new Titleist TSI family of drivers. The new TSI drivers are faster in the air, longer off the tee, and straighter down the fairway. 4 drivers give you maximum performance for any type of dedicated golfer. Swing by Edwin Watts Golf Shops and get custom fit today. Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee, and shop us online at worldwidegolfshops.com.
Hello?
Hello, Mrs. Kuntz. It's the back left tire of your RV calling. Wanted to give you a heads up that I'm going to blow out on the highway later today.
Wait, what?
Says here I'm going to burst in the middle of rush hour.
Well, can we reschedule?
Sorry, our policy states that once we're scheduled to burst, we have to. We really pride ourselves on our commitment to blowouts.
RV owners can't schedule when things go wrong on the road. That's why there's Progressive, a leader in RV insurance.
You want a text confirmation when I burst?
Think I'll notice.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Hey, it's me, your cousin, from Boston. I'm on the radio doing ads for Sam Adams. Now I'll be known as the Sam Adams guy instead of the dude who fell in the quarry. Sam Adams Boston Lager is crisp and refreshing, which is why I bring a six-pack wherever I go, except the movies anymore. Sam Adams, from Boston with love. Here's the legal part. Watch how fast I can read. The Boston Beer Company, Boston, Mass. Drink responsibly. Now, is that 30 seconds? Are we even close?
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park interviewing a new resident, Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and staff, I was hooked. From restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home at Town Village.
Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home, Town Village.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brad Norsworthy.
We like to party.
We welcome you back in. We will be heading down to Augusta. Always a pleasure to talk with our friend Doug Bell from Sirius XM PGA Tour Radio. Gets a real good sense of what is going on, Brett.
I'm so excited that baseball and golf back, and there's nothing like watching a great game with great weather and a cold drink and a little action on FanDuel Sportsbook. If you've never bet on baseball before, now is the perfect time to give it a shot. FanDuel's letting new users swing for the fences risk-free. Get up to $1,000 back if your first bet doesn't win. Once you have an account, you can get up to $25 back each day if your same-game parlay bet falls one leg short. This way you can combine multiple bets for an even bigger win. Just download the FanDuel Sportsbook app and sign up for promo code CASH to get in on the action. That's FanDuel Sportsbook promo code CASH, 21 and over and present in Tennessee. First online real money wager only for risk refund. Refund issued as non-withdrawable site credit. Problem gambling, call Tennessee Redline 1-800-889-9789. This hour of our show brought to you every day by Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and online at lexusofmemphis.com. Great offers on all 2021 models. Stop by Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and put yourself in the driver's seat of an all-new 2021 flagship LS500. Online at lexusofmemphis.com. Experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis.
We go to Augusta. Our friend Doug Bell standing by. Boy, it sure looked beautiful this morning watching the ceremonial tee-offs of Player and Nicklaus, and, of course, Lee Elder getting his ovation, so well-deserved. And I don't know, can you have better weather? Can you have a better track than the one you got today? Good afternoon.
Dave and Brett, it really was beautiful this morning, and you're right. That's one of my favorite things about being at the Masters because I have to go into a studio all day. I'm doing stuff for CBS Sports HQ, and so when I get out in the morning and then late in the evening, it's incredible. And then this morning to go out and see Jack, the great Golden Bear, Gary Player, and now Lee Elder. Although Lee didn't hit a shot, he's not in great health, but I will say he stood up when they gave him a standing ovation, and his cane was a driver, which I thought was really cool. It's just fun to be there, guys. It really is. Phil Mickelson was out there. Bubba was out there. And it's really one of the, there's so many cool things about the Masters, and that's one of them, the fact they have these honorary tee shots on Thursday morning. And I don't know. I love it. I really do love it.
Doug, it looked like the golf course was tip-top today, but weather tomorrow and Saturday, these 3 under people, they could be holding at 3 under over Friday and Saturday's play, couldn't they?
Well, Brett, that 3 under is a heck of a score, man. The golf course is playing
so
difficult. And what you guys will notice watching on TV, the greens are turning brown. There's brown spots. Because, listen, in November, Dustin Johnson shot 20 under par. And all these rookies, Cam Smith and Sun J.M. Cam Smith 4 rounds in the 60s back in November. Sun J.M. 15 under par, 5 behind DJ. And so obviously this is their first time experiencing the April Masters, but the committee wanted to make it tougher, and so they made it really a putting contest for the next 4 days. And if you don't put it in the right spots in those greens, you're going to pay the price. And it was interesting. Kevin Kisner, after his round today, he mentioned when you're hitting an approach and it hits one of those brown spots, he said it has kind of a thud, kind of a blink, because you know it's going to bounce over the green. And you guys will see it. I mean, when you get off and watch the replay tonight, notice this coloration of these greens. That's the way they want it. They want it brown, makes it really hard, and really, really firm and fast. So ultimately, it's going to come down to who putts the best come Sunday.
Doug, if it gets crazy, and the best right now is Harman and Matsuyama at 3 under. And they're all done for the day. I don't know if Justin Rose can make a run. He's at 3 under too. But would they soften the greens if we don't get rain and it's impossible?
Well, they're gonna continue to bake them out. Dave, it's interesting. They have the sub-air system.
Hey, Doug, we're having a hard time hearing you. There's been a couple of occasions where you were crystal clear, but we're losing you at the moment. So we'll put you on hold and try to reestablish that. But he makes a great point, Brett. I did not notice. I think you've got the ability to see it. We do not hear in the studio. But that's interesting. So if you hit that brown spot on the green, which obviously is hard, it's going to hop instead of just grab.
Yeah, crusty and fast, and they really are. They're baking out. I mean, not quite the biscuit brown that you see at the Open Championship, but not the lush. They're not, the greens right now are not as green as the green jacket is. and rare, kind of not aerial, not blimp shot, but more drone shot, treetop high like in the fall, and it really showed the contrast near 11 and 12 just now going to commercial with the greens almost white compared to the fairways.
So it does not look like it normally does in April, Doug. We've got him back, I think. Doug Bell, our friend from Sirius XM Radio, HBQ CBS as well. You got so many titles, I got to get them all in for you. We hear you beautifully now. How different does it? I know it looks different than it did in November, but does it look much different than our normal April setting?
The only thing that looks different, Dave, and I think you guys were talking about it, is when you see the aerials, the greens are a different color. They really are. Usually it's a very stark green contrast, and the greens are a different color green, but it looks beautiful. But now when you see the aerials, there's a real brown tone to them, and that's what they want. They want these really fast, impossible, complex greens, and they want the win. Tiger won 13 under in 2019, and they want it to be probably less than that, and I think they're ultimately going to get that. Again, I can't tell you what Hideki and Brian Harman did at 69, and Justin Rose is sitting there at 3 under. That's a heck of a score in this day, guys. Dustin Johnson, who was 20 under November, shot 2 over. And he worked really hard for that 2 over. So it's going to be a challenge for the best players in the world. There's no question.
Can Patrick Reed win again?
Yes, he could. It's been interesting. I was on it this morning, and somebody asked me about Patrick Reed. I said, listen, he's top 10 in putting. He's got an incredible short game, and he's got this mental toughness. I mean, remember what happened at Torrey Pines when all the scuttlebutt happened when he picked up his golf ball and social media went crazy, and any other normal person would have just crumbled under that media and social media, the heavy weight of that. But it fueled him, and he went on to win it, Torrey Pines. So, yes, the answer to that is Patrick Reed could win his second green jacket because it is so tough, and I think that sets up perfect for not only his game, but his mental attitude.
Who else is really good when and it's not. I don't want it to be confused with the U.S. Open difficulty because it's not going to get that way. The greens are going to be tough though in that regard. Who does that favor? Does that favor a guy like Reed? Who like Jordan Spieth? Is he a good enough putter when it's like that to win another green jacket? What about Justin Thomas, who's got a great short game? I think. Who does those really difficult fast greens? Who does that favor?
Well, Dave, keep in mind now, over the last 20 years, only 6 winners have come out of the top 15 in the world. And so we're talking a golf tournament that rewards players who are highly ranked because, number one, listen, you have 88 players. You have all those past champions who have no chance to win. You have these first-time players and amateurs who aren't going to win. You have 20 guys who were rookies in November, and now they're seeing the April version of Augusta National. I don't think they're going to win. So ultimately, you come down to the top 30 or 40 players in the world, and then I think in the end comes Sunday, who are those top 15 players? Who are the best 15? And I think that's why I think it's a relatively easy golf tournament to handicap. People are asking me, aside from the chalk, who do you like? I like Webb Simpson. And Webb Simpson had it to 400 today and then double bogeyed 16. But to answer your question, Dave, Webb Simpson is a guy who's certainly mentally tough enough to survive. And listen, he's won a U.S. Open. He's won a Players' Championship. Webb Simpson, why not a green jacket? I think it may set up good for him.
What about defending champion Dustin Johnson? If it's not Dustin, it rhymes with Dustin. It's Justin.
Well, DJ, like we said, struggled with 74, but that's okay because he's right now only 5 shots back, and he's certainly more than capable of coming back tomorrow shooting under par. But, yeah, no, Dustin Johnson is right there. He's number one for a reason. DeChambeau has struggled today. I know Justin Thomas had an early double bogey that set him back. But all these guys, and let me just emphasize, this golf course is so difficult right now, and these greens are so bizarre and hard and just impossible to figure out. Anything 2 over or better is a really good score. I think, listen, it's all going to come down like it always does in the back nine on Sunday, and anybody within 3 or 4 shots that has an opportunity. It's going to be so crazy, guys, on Sunday, that back nine where those hole locations are and the severity of these greens. Frankly, I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to lend to a very exciting finish.
You mentioned some of the big names. Rory McIlroy, 4 over 76 today. So was Sergio Garcia. Tell me what you know, because my knowledge is very, very limited, to be quite honest with you. But what do you know about Will Zalatoris?
Great story, guys. 2 years ago, he was outside the top 2,000 in the world rankings. I'm not kidding. I mean, he was in the outer space, had no playing privileges even on the Korn Ferry early before the COVID deal, and then goes on this winning spree on the Korn Ferry, earns his Battlefield promotion to the PGA Tour, where now he has a string of top 25 finishes. He's top 50 in the world, Will Zalatoris, and he played really well today. I think he wound up 2 under par. Not a surprise, very consistent, talented young guy, making a name for himself. And we were laughing. I was on the radio last week. He might be the skinniest golfer on the PGA Tour. I don't know what his waist size is, Dave, but I think it's like 28. This is the skinniest guy you've ever seen, but a very talented and a really nice kid too. Very talented, but very nice. That is an incredible story. Where he was 2 years ago, with no status on any tour in the world, and now 2 years later, he's top 50 in the world, debuting in the Masters. An incredible story, Will Zalatoris.
Rory McIlroy, is it kind of hopeless for this year already for him? I
think so, Brett. I really do. You know, he's going through a swing change. You know how that goes. It takes time. Changing structures. Pete Cowan, the guy from England who's helped Henrik Stenson, Koepka. He's now working with Rory. Rory struggled today. Actually, he sprayed his second shot and it bounced to his dad. How bad is that? You hit a bad shot, you actually caught your dad in the gallery. So,
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, so things aren't going good for Rory. And it's a shame. He needs the Masters to complete the Grand Slam. Only 5 guys have ever done it. And I think, unfortunately for now, it looks like Rory, he's still a young man, but it looks like he may wind up like, Arnold Palmer, never won the PGA. Tom Watson never won the PGA. Sam Snead never won the United States Open. Phil Mickelson never won the U.S. Open. There's 12 guys who have 3 legs of the Grand Slam. Only
Sam
5
Snead.
who have the Grand Slam. Unfortunately, I think for Rory, he's in that direction of guys who may end up being frustrated by the end of the year. He's still a young guy.
What about Brooks Koepka? He was 2 over today, so he shoots 74. But the knee thing has to be bothering him on those hills.
Well, an amazing story, Dave, that 3 weeks ago he did have knee surgery, got his knee scoped, and he had an issue with his kneecap and got that readjusted, which sounds painful just to describe. He's out there playing. He shot 2 over today. I do think by the end of the week, if he makes the cut and plays all 4 days, I would think going up those hills and especially down the hills at Augusta National, he's going to pay the ultimate price. I think he's going to be very, very sore on Sunday night. But give him credit. He wanted to play. He got that knee worked on 3 weeks ago, and here he is playing, going for a green jacket. That tells you how much it means to him. He didn't want to miss this opportunity.
I don't blame him. All right, last thing. You've already said you're kind of leaning toward Webb Simpson.
Yeah.
Give me 2 other guys. Give me the final score.
Well, I think the winning score, again, we harken back to Tiger, 13 under par, and I think the winning score comes Sunday. If they get to 10 under par, it'll be 9 or 10 under par. That's how difficult this golf course is going to be. Yeah, I think Webb Simpson is going to hang in there. I think ultimately you're going to have a guy like Dustin Johnson come back and contend. I don't want to go totally with chalk, but I think that's a good possibility. I thought Jason Day was a good bet coming in, and last I looked, he was struggling a little bit today. And we talked a little bit about Will Zalatoris, but rookie hasn't won since Fuzzy Zeller in 1979, so I don't see Will getting his first ever victory at the Masters. All that would be one heck of a story, wouldn't it?
That or Christian Bezuidenhout.
Now, he's a guy who is from South Africa, has won twice on the European Tour last year during this COVID craziness. Both were in South Africa, both on courses that he played a lot on, and he earned the right to visit those in South Africa to not only play the Masters, but he's playing in all the World Golf Championship events too. So certainly not a household name, but all these guys earn their way on. Listen, here's the guy who I think would be a cool story. Hideki Matsuyama shot 3 under. Not a great putter, but played good today. Japan has never had a major golf champion. He is the Michael Jordan of Japan when it comes to celebrity and that sort of thing. If he somehow wins the green jacket, oh my gosh, he's going to be exalted in his home country like no one ever has in their history. So, I mean, can you imagine? Japan loves golf, and they've never had a major champion. So let's see. Hideki Matsuyama, that'd be a pretty cool story, too.
That would be great. By the way, Jason Day, 5 over today, and he's
that
in
was
the
a bad
clubhouse.
pick. My Webb Simpson was a good pick. Jason Day, not so good.
We exalt in your presence at all times, my friend. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Enjoy. Both Brett and I know just how beautiful it is to be at Augusta, hanging out and watching these guys. So enjoy, and we'll talk to you probably in the next week or two.
Yeah, anytime, guys. Give me a call. Look forward to seeing you in Memphis here down the road.
You got it. That is
Bye-bye.
Doug Bell with Sirius XM Radio. We're sitting here in the Family Leisure Studios. A reminder, I don't want you to miss out this summer. The pools are already going fast. That's how quickly they move at Family Leisure. They've got only the best, the state-of-the-art. And like last year, they ran out of pools. It could happen again, so please don't miss out. They got spas in stock now, too. They're ready for delivery. The 2021 patio furniture, all there now with up to 20% off on select sets. And you can swing in the spring with a brand-new play gym. They've got professional installation in there to make sure that thing is put together right for the kids. All you got to do is get to I-40 and Whidden Road. Family Leisure, where family and fun all come together. Back in a minute, we'll put a wrap on this very first hour. We'll update you on the leaderboard at Augusta, talk a little Tigers, too, with the news today of the U of M getting a major blue-chip player as a point guard forward. He's a multi-guy, 6'5". His name is Timberlake, not to be confused with Justin. Back in a minute.
Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy get you through lunch daily from 10 to 1.
Well, lunch is served.
Only on Sports 56, 98.5 FM and 96.1 FM.
Hi, folks. Bob Burkham, Sunrise Buick GMC Truck. Thinking about buying a new or used car or truck? Remember, the selection's better and the savings are bigger at Sunrise. Over 600 new cars and trucks to choose from. Factory rebates up to $8,000. Interest low as 0%. Bad credit, it's okay. At Sunrise, we've got financing for everybody. SunriseMemphis.com. Where saving your money is just a way of doing business. Covington Pike, Wolfchase, and Collierville. We make it fun to buy a car again. Check out the all-new Sunrise Truck Corral. Huge selection of nothing but trucks. All makes, all models, all prices, all trucks, all the time. Next to Sunrise Wolfchase.
We saved big money with our Progressive Home and Auto Bundle and used the cash to take a family vacation.
To Hawaii.
Who's up for a luau?
Yay!
This is not a real testimonial. Sure, customers can save big money with Progressive, but not enough to go to Hawaii. They'll probably use it for things like the mortgage and groceries, or even a travel magazine, so at least they can see pictures of Hawaii.
Aloha!
Yes, say hello to those beautiful Hawaiian beaches in that magazine. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
There's now a faster and easier way to pick up your Corky's Barbecue. Order and pay online, pull into the designated spot, text Corky's to 474747, and we'll bring your order right to your car. No waiting.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here once again are Dave Wilson and Brett Norsworthy.
Welcome back in all of a sudden through 8. Here comes Jordan Spieth. He's at 1 under. Would be his second green jacket. That'd be a good story.
Be quite the comeback and be second Masters, but fourth major. He's won them all except for a PGA.
Well, yeah. And the thing that would get you is, he's already had his drought, right? I mean, he went through 3.5 years at a lot of doubters. I wasn't sure he'd ever get it back. And he's 27? Yeah, 27, I think he's right. 27 or 28. So we look at the leaderboard, and Brian Harmon, 3 under. He was the first one, I think. He was at one time 4 under, wasn't he? He was one of those guys. There's been 2 or 3 that got to 4 under. And, in fact, no, Harmon never did. He ended up going birdie. Well, let's see. He birdied 15 and he birdied 18 to get to 3. He was 1 under on the turn.
Played college at Georgia. It'd mean a lot to him. It'd be another left-hander winning there, joining Bubba Watson, Mike Ware, and Phil Mickelson. Bob Charles, the first left-hander to ever win a major when he won the '64 British Open.
Hideki Matsuyama, as Doug just talked about, here's a guy. I think he was one of the early 59s, right? We know that the first one was Al Geiberger here, but Matsuyama had a 59, I'm going to say 7-8 years ago. And never seemed to get quite to the promised land. Has had hot streaks on occasion. He'd be a great story, as he said. He's like the Michael Jordan. Justin Rose is at 3 under. Wow, that would be believable. He certainly is capable of winning the Masters. Zalatoris, which he mentioned. Webb Simpson, which is his pick. Buzahud now is 2 under. So is Patrick Reed, and there's a guy that could win another jacket. Kim, Fitzpatrick, Jordan Spieth, they're at 1 under, and the course is playing ridiculously hard, as he just said.
It is. That's why they wanted it. That's why they want it every year, but they sure want it that way after 20 under. It's a little bit like what's everybody's going to face at the U.S. Open after what Bryson DeChambeau did at Wingfoot. About 4 over might win it.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Nice leaderboard so far. Well, let's just see what happens. Some of the big names, as we mentioned, Dustin Johnson. I didn't see. What is Justin Thomas? What did he do today? You remember?
Yeah, he still.
Is he still out there?
No, Justin Thomas was three. He's still after 3 over through 9.
Okay, so he's got a chance to work that back for sure. So he's still going to be a big part of it. Danny Willett, which we mentioned yesterday, he finished 4 over. That's not terrible, that is for sure. I think it's a surprise that DeChambeau was 4 over. I think the best he's ever played there was 17th, right? Finished 17th. He's still learning how to play the golf course. Billy Horschel, which, some had mentioned as a guy that had been hot, could come on. He's 5 over. He's not going to make it. Lee Westwood, who's been playing beautifully, he is at 6 over, so he's got some issues. Kuchar, who's been playing well, he's at 6 over. Worst round of the day, Larry Mize, 12 over. I guess that's not shocking. Larry Mize, how old is Larry Mize now?
Got to be close to him playing in his last one. He won it in 87.
Is that right?
Won it in 87. So he may be approaching too much golf course for him.
He's 62.
62? Yeah, that's you are definitely approaching it at 62. Although how old was Watson when he handed the
59
in
2009
to Sink? You knew exactly what I was talking about. That's great. We mentioned the Tigers. The big news today: Earl Timberlake, a 6'5" point guard forward, who many thought could be a lottery pick when he went to Miami out of high school. He became the second of the transfer portal pickups by Penny Hardaway, Davian Warren being the first. There's a 6'7" guy. Here's 6'5" point guard, point forward. And, Penny does believe in that positionless stuff because I can remember a lot of point guard being played in the NIT by Lester Quinones. But, Brett, we saw a lot of time down the stretch before the NIT where DeAndre Williams was actually like the point forward.
Yeah, but they're going to need a traditional point guard, and I just don't think that Alex Lomax from start to finish is one that can carry you into NCAA tournament success.
This kid could play it. Quinones could play it. There's a lot of different ways if you're going to go positionless, which is an option. The other is there is
I think
talk.
If Quinones is playing a lot of point guard against really good teams, they'll pick his pocket every trip.
They could. I don't know about every trip, but he's certainly the.
And then what does that do to his getting his feet set and nailing a corner three if he's having to handle the ball? That team needs a point guard desperately.
Well, and that could still be in the offing if that's the route that Penny chooses, because there is a couple out there, one from Western Carolina, I know that has been mentioned, that could be coming Memphis' way through the transfer portal. It looks to me like right now he's either going to make a decision. He's going to get a big guy and a point guard, or he's going to go with the 2 Lawsons, and we'll just have to sit back and wait and see. One other interesting tidbit of news, and this is nice. 901 FC got their man today, the way the Tigers got Earl Timberlake. They get Brian Pearman as their head coach. If that name is familiar, he was been their assistant coach with Tim McQueen all these years. He was 2-1 as the interim coach of 901 FC when Tim McQueen was let go. He was a longtime assistant at his alma mater, which is Michigan State. While he was there, he was coaching the NPSL team of the area, which was FC Detroit City. And in 6 years, listen to this record, 49, 17, and 17. 35-year-old guy, 2-1 in the interim as the 901 FC coach. Sounds like they got a young guy with a lot of energy who's really been successful, that knows the personnel of the team, that is 35, so he can relate maybe a little bit better than McQueen could. And seems to me a very, very nice pickup. I don't know why it took so long. Maybe they were after some bigger names or more experienced head coaches. But just looking on paper at what he's accomplished in the past and his knowledge of the personnel on this team now, Brett, it seems like Pearman is a very nice pickup for 901 FC.
I know nothing about him.
No, well, nice guy. That is an hour in the books. Let you know this portion of the show brought to you by Brian Elder Roofing Solutions. You all know Brian. He's been in this market for a long, long time. Now he's teamed up with our friend Chris Price. Call me, Chris Price. There's a reason why people call Chris Price, because believe me, if you've got any issues, they know how to take care of you. They cut right to the heart of the matter. If you've got a serious issue with your roof, let Brian, let Chris, let them take a look. They'll even contact your insurance company to make sure everything is taken care of in the proper way. And when they fix your roof, they only use the best products on the market, and they provide their customers with what I think is one of the best warranties that any contractor can offer. They call it the no questions asked warranty. It sets them apart from all the others because they're simply going to stand by their work. They will take care of you. They can measure your roof from outer space. They got all the latest technology and equipment, but they'd rather come out and see you, take a look around, and then take care of you the right way. And if it's a small little fix, they do that. They don't do a redo, I promise you. All you got to do is call 867-0303. That famous number. Doesn't cost you anything to call. They come out and take a look for free. 867-0303. That's the number for Brian Elder Roofing Solutions. We take a break, and when we come back, we'll talk about the NBA and these hot Grizzlies. Could they get to – they're only a game and a half behind the Mavs for 7. Should you start to set your sights there? We'll ask Keith Smith from Yahoo Sports that very question in just a minute.
As physicians, we know that what we do now will affect the future for us all.
The COVID-19 vaccine is now available. It's safe and very effective, and it's a great defense against coronavirus.
But we still need to continue to mask up, socially distance, and get tested.
Getting vaccinated will help us all get back to some semblance of normalcy.
Let's get vaccinated and tell your friends and family to do the same.
Memphis and Shelby County, get vaccinated. It's our best shot.
I'm Kelly Erb. Sheldon Rosengarten and I are both with Mark Spensdorf Realtors, and our clients often ask us how we are finding the real estate market right now.
Kelly, we've been in a great market environment for quite a while. If someone hadn't sold their home by now with a low inventory and high activity level, there have to be issues that need to be addressed.
Correct. Usually before we go on the market, we advise people on preparation, presentation, and proper pricing. With that and our highly successful strategic marketing program with the Shell Bucks option, our clients' odds of selling their home are increased quicker and at a better price.
Yes, that is why we also suggest that people talk to 2 to 3 real estate brokers and make sure and call us. It can mean the difference in whether they sit on the market or sell. That's why people often say, when you want the job done, call Shell Done.
That's right. You can reach Sheldon Rosengarten or me at 682-1868 or memphisrelocate.com. Do it now, 682-1868 or memphisrelocate.com.
It's time, Memphis. Join Ja Morant, Tyus Jones, and your Memphis Grizzlies Sunday, April 11th at 7 p.m. as they take on the Indiana Pacers presented by FanDuel Sportsbook. Check out grizzlies.com/tickets today.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, W253DF Memphis, and WIVG Tunica Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Now, more of Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brad Norsworthy.
Welcome in on Masters Thursday, and we got a new leader Through 13 holes, a birdie for Justin Rose. He's hot. He's 3 under on the back. Birdie 10, birdie 12, just birdie 13. Still has 15 in his sights. Will he be the first-round leader with Brian Harmon and Hideki Matsuyama in the clubhouse at 3 under par? Been a big day there. Been a big day for the U of M. They got Earl Timberlake, the young man from Miami who played their 6'5" point guard, 35th overall player by many of the rating services. When he came out of high school, he becomes the second of the Tigers to be picked up through the transfer portal. Many thought that Timberlake would be an NBA lottery pick after this year, but when he got to Miami, he had shoulder issues, bad shoulder issues, and an ankle injury, did not play much, and therefore when they decided they were making changes, he decided he was leaving, wanted to play for Penny, and he had a choice. I think LSU was in the mix, and he chose the Tigers, a big pickup for Penny Hardaway today. In the meantime, you may have seen the Grizzlies have won 4 in a row. They're 3-0 on this road trip. We love chatting NBA with our friend Keith Smith from Yahoo Sports. And the Grizzlies now alone in 8, a game and a half away from 7. Are people starting to think about the Grizzlies as a team? Maybe they could catch the Mavericks. Keith, what's your take on Memphis doing this? And they're missing some people too.
Yeah, I think that's the most impressive part of this is they've done this without some of their key guys over especially the last couple of games. And that's really important because that speaks to the depth of the roster, and that's good for them long term. That shows, things there. I have to wonder a little if they're starting to look at, all right, do we move in a direction where we move away from Justice Winslow and we go the cap space route? Because clearly we can get by fine without him. Those are all questions, but those are questions for the offseason. For right now, the questions with the Grizzlies is how long can they keep this up and how far up the standings can they go? I think now the nice thing is if you can get in that 7-8 range, you only need to win once to get into the playoffs versus if you're sitting there at 9 or 10, you got to win a couple games. So that's a big spot for them to be in if they can land in 7 or 8.
Keith, who would have ever believed the Grizzlies' ascendancy on April 8th at the same time the descending value of the Lakers? Yeah, the Lakers, it's all injury related for them. They without James and Davis, they struggle. They are the most top heavy roster in the league. Now, when those guys are there, you're perfectly fine. You're an NBA Finals contender to win the whole thing. But without those guys, without one of them, you're still a pretty good team. Without both of them, you're a pretty average team at absolutely best. So, but the Lakers are kind of in a position where let's just, get those guys healthy. Seed doesn't overly matter to them. They'll just play it out wherever they land, and that's how they'll go forward into the postseason.
Well, the Lakers have lost 4 of their last 10 games, won 4 of their last 10 games, so they lost 6 of them. Whereas Utah's won 8 of the last 10, Phoenix 9 of the last 10, and the Clippers, who just got Boogie to go along with Rondo, they've won 8 of the last 10. Denver is a team that is also somewhat hot, winners of 8 of their last 10. Are those 4 teams, even if they bring AD and James healthy back, are you sure that those 4 teams aren't better than the Lakers?
No, I'm not sure of that at all. I'd put it about even odds for those 5 teams that on who comes out of the West. I think that they all have a really good shot at being the team that represents in the NBA Finals. And there's nights when I really want to believe in the Portland Trailblazers, too, that they could get in that mix. They don't play enough defense to really be there, but, you don't want to be looking across court and see Damian Lillard because that guy can win a game or 2 almost by himself, and then all of a sudden it's a series you didn't really expect to be in. But, yeah, it's the West is incredibly deep with good teams, all the way through till about, 8, 9, 10 in the West. But at those top 5 teams, I give them all, really good shot at representing the Western Conference in the finals when all is said and done.
And, Keith, with that win last night, the Phoenix Suns are now One game out in the loss column behind the Jazz. Now, they have a tough one tonight against the Clippers, but they're 4 ahead of the Clippers for the 2 spot. Why not Monty Williams for Coach of the Year?
Yeah, no, he probably should win Coach of the Year at this point. I've heard a lot of people say Tom Thibodeau, and it's not that he hasn't done a really good job in New York of, kind of helping lift them into being a competitive team and the like. But they're, when all said and done, they're right around 500 and they're barely in the playoff picture. Whereas Monty Williams has brought a team that was, in a lot of ways had had just as much struggle as the Knicks over the last decade or so. And Monty Williams now has them playing like one of the best teams in the league. And on top of that, why not James Jones for Executive of the Year? Pulled the trigger on the Chris Paul trade, filled out that roster with some really good veterans, re-signed a couple key guys. Phoenix all around, good off-season, good planning, and it's really come together on the court for them.
And I mean so quickly because beginning of last year, nobody thought Phoenix was ever going to be a factor. And here you are,
exactly.
less than 2 years later, and they're 22 games over 500. What an incredible story that is. All right, you mentioned Justice Winslow, and you say, well, it is a decision for offseason, and I think that is fair. But you got to start thinking about it. Winslow has had a variety of different injuries that have kept him from really playing. He did not play most of this year, then finally came back, and he played, 4 or 5 games, 6 games, and then he's been in and out. Now he's missed, I think it's 7 games in a row. That would tell you something. Would you gamble on the kind of money you're going to have to pay Justice Winslow to keep him?
Yeah, that's really tough. I think you can talk yourself fairly easily into picking up the $13 million player option on his contract, because then what you're looking at is, all right, we're going to largely run this team back, maybe a trade or two, maybe we sign a veteran guy to come in, but for the most part, we feel good that the improvement of the young players with the veterans, and we're going to push it forward that way. And if it doesn't work out, it's only one more season. If you decline that option, you give yourself all sorts of flexibility, because what you can do there is look and say, all right, hey, we can get a decent chunk of cap space, really look at what we could do as a team, to maybe chase a better free agent. It's not the best free agent class, but there are going to be some really good role players that could fill, rotation spots. And then if that doesn't work out, then you could always regroup with Winslow and try to bring him back. I would be very hesitant as far as doing anything that looks like we're going to commit to a long-term contract with him, just given the injury history, because he hasn't proven he can stay on the court over the last several years.
But for this front office, this is not Chandler Parsons. This was not big money free agent. It was a trade. It was a linchpin trade. They did give a lot to get. I don't know how much now that the player they gave up, Jay Crowder, would really be helping this team. But this is not Chandler Parsons for this front office if it all goes terribly wrong, is it?
No, not even close. The Chandler Parsons contract, really unfortunately turned into one of the worst ones in the league at the time. And, and then he never, made it back from that. But, yeah, this is nowhere close to that. You gave up a guy who wasn't part of the organization in Iguodala. You gave up Crowder, who's gone on to play well, but he hadn't played like that for Memphis and wasn't, maybe making all that large of a difference for them. So, and your money invested it's not. The Parsons deal kept them from doing other good things to add to their roster, to remake the team, and those kind of things. The Winslow contract hasn't kept them from doing anything that they could have otherwise done to build out that roster. So by no means is it anywhere close.
Just by going by history, what's your gut feel on a guy like Winslow who just can't seem to get healthy? Do we see cases where 4 or 5 years later, all of a sudden their bodies are used to it or whatever it is, and they can play 2 or 3 years in a row? I really don't know the answer to that, but based on his first few years of NBA history, I think it's almost a stretch to believe he's ever going to be healthy.
Yeah, and I think that's fair to have that opinion. I think what happens with a lot of these guys is they get it's almost, as weird as it sounds, almost better at this point to suffer something like a torn ACL or something along those lines, because what happens in that situation is you get the surgery, you do the rehab, and you come back. When it's things like the hip, which seems to now be almost a chronic thing for Winslow, or it's something along the lines of a back injury or things like that, not only does that hurt you then, but it can also turn into something where that becomes a long-term injury issue that leads to other stuff because you're overcompensating and things like that. So that really does become something that you have to feel really confident with your medical staff. If you invest a lot of money, that you're going to get the return on this in terms of availability. And because of the Parsons situation, that is something that I think Memphis has to at least be conscious of as they look at a player with a lengthy injury history.
The Lakers, we talked about, and their fall, it's mostly driven by injury. When those guys get back, are they back for 1st of May? Are they back for the first round of the playoffs? And what will their seed be? Will it be worth salvaging?
Yeah, we really don't know at this point. We haven't gotten any kind of real update on James or Davis as far as a real return to play date. So I think what we're looking at with both of those guys is you're probably in a position where they will get back. It'll probably be, my guess is, 2 to 3 weeks out from the playoffs, enough time to shake the rust off, get themselves back in the condition where they need to be, and get things moving forward to the playoffs. As far as salvaging a seed, I think if you're the Lakers, as long as you can avoid the play-in tournament, I don't know that they overly care where they land 1 through 6. I think they feel like, hey, we can win as long as our two guys are healthy, almost no matter what seed we get. Sure, the path will be harder. It's not so much about the home court advantage part of it, but it's more about you're going to have to go through multiple good teams if you get one of those low seeds. But, they won the championship last year. I think there's a little bit of the approach of health is way, way more important to us than any kind of seed will ever be.
So today in the NBA, the retirement of the general manager of the Golden State Warriors, and I know they still have Steph and they still have Draymond Green when those two guys are healthy, and Klay Thompson is going to come back next year, but there's no Iguodala. The big man they used to have is now in Australia, retired. Is it over with the Welts retirement? Can we say the era of Golden State is gone?
And I don't want to diminish Rick Welts, everything he did for the Warriors, but he was on the business side versus the basketball side. Bob Myers runs the show on the basketball side for them. But to your bigger question, it's probably pretty close. They can't really get it right this offseason and get the right guys in around Curry, get Thompson back to something resembling the player he was before, at least as a shooter at the very least. Then I think it does become really, really tough for that team to move up. We just talked about how good the Western Conference is, and in a lot of those teams we rattled off, I don't see them going anywhere anytime soon. So it's going to be one of those questions where you're Stephen Curry, you start to think about, all right, what's more important to me? Is my legacy of being with one team and retiring a Warrior without having played anywhere else, is that more important, or do I want to win again? Because I'm just not sure he's going to get that opportunity to win another title in Golden State.
How did Golden State go from so likable to not very likable?
They won a lot. It's one of those things, right? That familiarity breeds contempt. People get very bored. You're talking to somebody who's a Patriots fan, who everybody loved them when they were the scrappy underdog that upset the Rams. Everybody thought that was great. And then all of a sudden, about 2-3 years later, it was like, this team again? Can we get them out of here? We're done with these guys. And that's what happens. You go from hero to villain very, very quickly in the NBA. And I think that's really what happened with the Warriors. And then they embraced it. It turned into, hey, we're going to take every single guy we can get that wants to jump on this thing. And Draymond Green is, even when people liked them, I don't know how much people really liked him. And then Steph's, shimmying and shaking went from being really fun for some to annoying. So yeah, that's how it comes. It's, the more and more you see of a team and the more they win, the more people just come to dislike them.
And one more aspect. Draymond.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Yeah, he's a problematic guy. I think he is right near the top of that list of if he's on your team, you love him. If he's on another team, you're absolutely done with him, and you don't but don't want to see anything good happen for him.
I think that's right. Here's another team that obviously has fallen. It's not anything new, but the Spurs, and they were battling at the bottom for the 6, 7, 8 spot. And now they've lost 8 of their last 10, too. They've fallen 2 games behind the Grizzlies. They're pretty well locked in 9, and the Warriors are right behind them. What's happened with the Spurs? I never thought they were a championship team, but the way they began, they do have the best coach in the game. I think we'd all agree with that. What's going on with Greg Popovich's San Antonio team?
I think a lack of depth really hurt them over the last, let's call it, month or so, especially since the All-Star break. When they started losing some guys to injury, they didn't have players ready to step in there, ready-made like they used to go in and play big-minute roles. Their bench veterans are just that. They're bench veterans. They're 15 to 20-minute a night guys. Their rest of their depth comes from very young players who are inexperienced. And as they lost a handful of guys to injury, especially some key guys like DeMar DeRozan missed time, DeJounte Murray has missed time, Derek White missed time. They just don't have the guys ready to step in and take those roles just yet. Maybe in a year or two, that's where they'll be. But right now, whenever anybody's out, that has definitely hurt that team.
And what happened to Aldridge in his relationship with Pops?
Yeah, by all accounts and everything I've heard from talking to different people and then just reading various reports, I don't think it really was as bad as some may think. I don't think it was ever amazing by any means. That they loved each other. We clearly had a point where Aldridge asked for a trade and wanted to go somewhere else. So I think that was always a little bit of a problem. But ultimately, what we ended up hearing with them with this go around was, he wasn't really part of the future anymore. They were ready to move on from him. He wasn't going to play all that much. They were transitioning him to a bench role, so they did him a solid and said, "Hey, you want to win? You want to go to a title contender? Done. Let's we'll work a buyout." And Aldridge did them a favor as well because he gave back a considerable sum of money, more than just about anybody ever does in a buyout for a single season. So that shows you, he wanted to be elsewhere, and they were ready to move on too.
All right, my friend, thank you much. Down the stretch, we're about to come. NCAA tournament's over. It'll get hot and heavy in the NBA. We'll see how high the Grizzlies can get. Always a pleasure chatting with you. Enjoy the weekend.
I appreciate it. Thanks, guys. You all stay safe. You and yours.
That is our friend Keith Smith down in Orlando. You can read him on Yahoo Sports on the NBA. Our title sponsor for this hour of the program, that would be Homer Skelton Hyundai, and Genesis of Olive Branch. This is a group that's been together. They know the car business. They've been together for 13 or 14 years. The man who runs the certified pre-owned department, Ray Melton, he's only been in the car business in this market for 41 years. Just a drop in the bucket. They know their stuff. That's my point. And that's why when you talk about Genesis of Olive Branch, for instance, out of 355 dealers in America, they're top 50 in the country. They're top 10 in the region. That takes in the whole Southeast, and number 1 or number 2 in the district, depending on the month. They know all about service. It starts with the product, so good, so durable, high technology that you get a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty on every new Hyundai and on every new Genesis. And then, same thing, those new cars, you're going to get a 3-year, 36,000-mile maintenance package on the house. They'll change your oil. They'll rotate your tires. They'll do all the transmission fluid, all the fluids in the car. They'll do that complimentary. They want to take care of you and your car. All you got to do is get on Lamar, first exit in Mississippi. That's Craft Road. Turn left. Go see Chris True and that gang that's been together for so long. You'll understand why the bar has been raised. They're the standard for the way car business should be done at Homer Skelton Hyundai and Genesis of Olive Branch.
Opening day in St. Louis today for the Cardinals. Adam Wainwright and Yadier Molina teaming up for the 276th-time regular season. That's the 6th most battery combination in history. Mickey Lolich and Bill Freehan, number 1 all-time, Warren Spahn, Dale Crandall, 2, and some others, Bill Dickey and Red Ruffin right there in front of Adam Wainwright and Yadier Molina at 5th. But that's a lot of times going out to the mound. Adam Wainwright's 6th opening day start, that ties Bob Gibson for the most opening day home openers in Cardinals history.
I was going to ask you how many games, I don't know if you have this in front of you, how many games did Bob Gibson and Tim McCarver have as battery mates?
They were past either the last 2 years. I'm gonna say something in the 250s. But McCarver got traded to the Phillies,
right,
where he was really more inexorably linked with Steve Carlton. Than he really was Bob Gibson.
Where was he with Carlton, with Lefty?
I'm not sure.
Oh, yeah, I heard a really good story. McCarver, I just heard this the other day, too. McCarver was a rookie, right? I mean, he went basically from Christian Brothers up to the big show.
17.
At 17, right? And he was catching in that rookie year, he was catching Bob Gibson. And I want to say it was like the 3rd or 4th inning, and Gibby was getting roughed up a little bit. And the manager told McCarver to go out to the mound. He didn't want to go out there. He just wanted McCarver to go out there and kind of settle him down. And Tim McCarver took a few steps toward the mound, got up there, and Gibson was really not happy seeing him. He said, "Rookie, what are you doing here?" And McCarver just turned around and retreated right back behind the plate. Exactly.
That was Bob Gibson. Now, when he signed and played just a few games as a 17-year-old, and then went to traditional minor leagues before being called up kind of for good at about 20 years old. But he did. He played in a Major League Baseball game at 17. Signed with the Cardinals in Will Carruthers' apartment at Kimbrough Towers downtown, and was in St. Louis playing pretty soon thereafter.
Yeah, that is unreal. We know what an athlete he was because he
could think what you were doing at 17 for all
my
of us.
Gosh,
what everybody was doing. I'd already decided that American Legion baseball was too much for me at 17. And Tim McCarver in the show. We're going to do baseball picks after this next break. I'm so excited that baseball is back. There's nothing like watching a game with a cold drink, great weather. We got all that. I got a cold Coca-Cola and great weather today, and some action at FanDuel Sportsbook. If you've never bet on baseball before, now is the perfect time to give it a shot. FanDuel is letting new users swing for the fences risk-free. Get up to $1,000 back if your first bet doesn't win. Once you have an account, you can get up to $25 back each day if your same-game parlay, if it falls one leg short. This way you can combine multiple baseball bets for an even bigger win. There's a reason why FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. App is simple to use. They've got great odds and always-on promotions. And when you win at FanDuel, you get your winnings in as little as 24 hours. It's your money. You've won it. They get it to you. Just download the FanDuel Sportsbook app and sign up with promo code CASH to get in on the action. That's FanDuel Sportsbook, promo code CASH. Must be 21 or older and present in Tennessee. First online real money wager. Only for risk-free bet. Refund issued as non-withdrawable site credit that expires in 7 days. Restrictions apply. See sportsbook.fanduel.com for details. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line at 1-800-889-9789.
Jordan Spieth had a triple bogey on 9. He's come back with a birdie on 10, so he is now 1 over. So he's having an up and down run. The guy that's remaining consistent through 14 now is Justin Rose. He's got a 1-stroke lead on Brian Harmon and Hideki Matsuyama in the first round at Augusta. We'll take that time out. When we come back, we will make our baseball picks. Drew, myself, and Brett, we're going to tell you who's going to win the World Series when we come back.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio. We are Sports 56, 98.5, and 96.1.
Even in times like these, special occasions happen. And when an occasion calls for special, it calls for 117 Prime, Memphis's premier downtown dining destination. From the spectacular 36-ounce porterhouse paired with a Ferrari Corrado Cabernet, to the jumbo lump crab cakes, to the raw bar with oysters fresh off the boat from the Gulf and the East Coast, there is simply no finer dining experience in Memphis than 117 Prime in the heart of downtown. These are complicated times, but if you want simply the best, you want 117 Prime.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
2021 is finally here. Might I suggest we start the wonderful new year with a makeover for your beautiful house. I'm Brian Elder. I'm a roofer. I fix roofs. Don't let them tell you that it has to be replaced when all it may need is some love. 867-0303. Let me love on your roof. I've made quite the reputation over the last decade as the guy to call after the insurance company denies the claim. Overturning a claim that has gone bad is an art form where you argue county code, manufacturer's specs, and details of your policy that they have to abide by. So let me see it first. If I say it's a claim, it's a claim. 867-0303. Money is free at Brian Elder Roofing with 0% financing for half a decade. I'll measure your roof from outer space and get you a quote right over the phone. 867-0303 or BrianElderRoofing.com.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
As physicians, we know that what we do now will affect the future for us all.
The COVID-19 vaccine is now available. It's safe and very effective, and it's a great defense against coronavirus.
But we still need to continue to mask up, socially distance, and get tested.
Getting vaccinated will help us all get back to some semblance of normalcy.
Let's get vaccinated and tell your friends and family to do the same.
Memphis and Shelby County, get vaccinated. It's our best shot.
Golfers, tee it up this year at Edwin Watts Golf Shops with the hottest new arrivals from Titleist. Introducing the new Titleist TSI family of drivers. The new TSI drivers are faster in the air, longer off the tee, and straighter down the fairway. 4 drivers give you maximum performance for any type of dedicated golfer. Swing by Edwin Watts Golf Shops and get custom fit today. Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee, and shop us online at worldwidegolfshops.com.
Now, more of Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again are Dave Ocean and Brett Norsworthy.
My world was strapped against my back. I held my head.
Welcome back in. We are halfway home on just another absolutely gorgeous day in Memphis. Baseball being played, Cardinals and the Brewers, bottom of the third. Cardinals up, down 1-0. Cubs a winner today over Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh 4-2. It's hard to believe they actually scored 4 runs. The Mets beat Miami today. There is a little bit of day baseball obviously going on. Boston beating Baltimore. Worst team in the East, Boston. Best team in the East, well, Baltimore. Is that right?
If the playoffs started today, those are in.
I know. And a little reversal today in Baltimore, too, 6-3. So that gives you the update on that. We mentioned Justin Rose at the moment leading the Masters, and we'll keep our eye on all of that. Each year,
How would you like to make a 7 on number 9 like Jordan Spieth did?
I think I could do that. How did he do it, by the way?
I know I could. Yeah. I know I could make. No, I don't know that I could make a 7, but I would be pleased with making a 7.
You might be. Triple bogey might be a good score. The way you got to hit it down by the crosswalk. If you can do that, then you just have a little iron up, and you make sure you don't hit that.
Easy.
Don't hit that false front. I don't know. What did he do? Did he go over the green, or did he hit the false front and come all the way back? You know?
I didn't catch it. I got so much going on. I got Cardinals home opening day going on, and other things going on. It's hard for me to keep it all on one thing today.
Yeah, I get that.
But if you played Augusta National from the tournament tees,
oh my gosh,
what do you think you'd shoot?
120.
You'd be darn proud of 110 to 101, wouldn't you?
Well, I don't know the greens. You know, I can. The only thing I can tell you is I've listened
to
the expertise.
If you played it Monday and you played it close to tournament tip top,
Well, I know, like on 16, I know where to aim my ball. Whether I can get it there or not, I know where to aim it because I've just watched all those guys try to hit that slope and take the ball down to the pin position. So if it's like the Sunday 18 pin placements, we kind of know from watching all these years what you would kind of try to emulate.
We think we do. That's one of the great things about the Masters, the familiarity that real or perceived we think we have with the course.
I agree.
I mean, we
100%.
think.
Yeah, I think that's right, Brett. Because,
we know that spot. We've been in that spot.
But
we've watched that spot for all these years.
Look at DeChambeau. I mean, here's a guy we know all the talent that he's got, and he has not figured out how to play that golf course yet.
I think he's fighting it, and it usually wins. It may take a while before he ever gets a handle, and he might be a guy like Lee Trevino that just never, ever gets comfortable there. But for us playing, for rank weekend players, I think we would be so scared of every green. I mean, it would be 4 and 5 and 6 putts.
Right. You would have to know where to aim. You can rarely go at the pin, and then you have to know where to go on the green for whatever the pin placement is, and that comes with a lot of knowledge. That's why.
And then you'd overcompensate. You're scared it's real slick, and you hit it and it goes about 3 inches, and that's it.
Yeah.
You go, well, I thought it was gonna be faster than that.
Yeah, and then the next one is fast, and now you're looking at a hopeful 4-putt. You're right, and that is why you will see if you ever go, and I tell people this all the time. Go on Tuesday. Go on Wednesday because you can watch the par 3, but you'll watch them practice, and they're all in good moods, and they're going to skip the ball at 16, but they're kind of chatting with each other. You can hear it because there's not as many people, and they're real friendly with everybody, including the gallery, because they're happy to be there. It's the first major. The weather is usually beautiful. It's the coming out. It's the spring of the game. And you can watch them experiment. They'll hit 2 or 3 balls to each green just to see how the ball will go. And that you need that because it is. You got to learn where to hit the ball on each green. You got to learn where to hit the ball to have a shot at the proper spot of the green. So there's so much education that comes in.
Hard game. Baseball's a hard game too. All right. Fire away, Dave. American League.
American League East, I got the Yankees with the top payroll in that circuit. I got Toronto with a bunch of new faces in second place. I'll go with the Rays third. I still believe in them. They always seem to, whatever the budget is, they are able to compete. The Red Sox are hurting, and the Baltimore Orioles, maybe they'll be better this year, but I still have them in the basement. In the Central Division.
Very same. Very same East for me. I have the formerly Buffalo Blue Jays, formerly the Toronto Blue Jays. This year, the Dunedin Blue Jays. I have them second and the second wild card in the AL. Drew, AL East.
I've got the Yankees at the top spot. I have the Rays coming in 2, and they're going to be my first wild card team. Then I have the Buffalo, Toronto, whatever, Blue Jays at 3, Red Sox 4, and unfortunately, my Orioles last.
But, by the way, I have Toronto as a wild card, too, my number 1 wild card. So we're a lot alike there. Central Division, I got the White Sox with Tony La Russa and a lot of young talent. I have them winning the Central. I have Minnesota, which is my second wild card team. Not a whole lot of change from last year. I like Minnesota. I got Cleveland third, good pitching, no offense. I've got the Royals 4. I got the Tigers coming in last.
True.
Same, but I don't have the Twins in the playoffs.
I have the Twins 1, White Sox 2, but the first wild card hosting the Dunedin Blue Jays. Kansas City 3, Cleveland 4, Detroit 5.
Okay, so you got Cleveland in 4th. All right. In the West, I've got the Angels with Shohei and Trout and
Albert.
And Albert.
And Joe Madden.
The ages, and I was going to say, and the Mad Hatter, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I got Houston, which hasn't totally rebuilt, but halfway, and that's why I don't think they're going to even make a wild card. I got Oakland.
That's the hardest rebuild, isn't it? The halfway rebuild.
Yeah, I agree. Oakland third, although they're off to their start. Seattle 4, and a total rebuild, not a halfway rebuild for the Rangers.
Yeah, 1 Houston, 2 Texas, 3 Oakland, 4 Anaheim.
Wow.
It doesn't matter where I pick them, Dave. If I pick them 4, they come in 1. If I pick them in 1, they come in 4. I never, ever get the Angels. Since Albert Pujols has been in with the Angels, I've never gotten them right. If I'm big on them, they're small. If I'm small on them, they're big. Seattle last. Drew?
Well, to full disclosure, I did do these before the season started. I had the Astros winning the division, Angels my second wild card, and this is where the full disclosure comes in. I had the A's finishing third, so it looks like I already missed on that one.
Well, I have them still third, even though they had this start.
1-6 right now through 7, so anything could happen. Mariners fourth, and Rangers at the bottom.
All right, we got to do it just like we always do. Name the manager of the Oakland A's.
Oh, I can't remember his name. Isn't that awful? Give it to us.
Wait. First name starts with a B, right? If I'm correct.
Name the manager of the Oakland A's.
I can't remember.
Give it to us.
Every year it gets us. Bob Melvin.
Bob Melvin. My God. Well, you were right. It did start with a B.
Somebody usually says Ken Maka, and every now and then you might get Art Howe.
Bob Melvin. Yeah, Art Howe was a long time ago.
Yeah.
I could just say Tony La Russa, but I know he's the White Sox manager.
All right, I got Tony La Russa being the AL Manager of the Year. I have the White Sox winning the wild card over the Jays, DS, Yankees over White Sox, Twins over Houston, ALCS, Yankees over Minnesota. AL MVP did this a week ago. I'm going to stay with it. Tim Anderson of the White Sox, and he's on the DL with a hamstring. AL Cy, Garrett Cole. AL Rookie, he's no rookie, Randy Rosarina, but he qualifies as one.
You go ahead. I did not do those. I'll do them tomorrow. I did not do my Manager of the Year or my Rookie or my MVPs.
Yeah, I forgot to do awards as well. That's on me.
We'll do them tomorrow. We
senior circuit.
So,
y'all got to do your playoffs.
I did. I did. So in the wild card, I have Toronto and Minnesota. I got the White Sox playing the Angels, and I've got the Yankees. Yankees.
Joe Madden versus La Russa.
I got Yankees
That'd be fun.
playing Minnesota. I got the Yanks and the White Sox as winners, and I got the White Sox beating the Yankees in the American League. The Shy Sox are going to the World Series.
TLR, Don Tony, right back where he was when he was last managing in 2011. I love that. I hope you're right. Drew?
All right.
Who wins the American
and
League?
Angels in the wild card game. Rays advance. Yankees versus Rays. Yanks win that one. Astros versus White Sox. Astros advance to the CS. Astros beat the Yankees to advance to the World Series.
Dusty Baker in the World Series, according to Drew.
Yeah.
Yankees are easy pick, aren't they?
They are.
And
They are.
not very fun. I'm not proud of that, but Yankees over Minnesota. You know Minnesota can't beat the Yankees. They never do when they run into them in the postseason.
No, they can't. They absolutely cannot.
Senior circuit.
All right, let's start with the East. I like Atlanta. They were close last year to everything. They could do it maybe this year. The Mets, now they got Francisco Lindor. They got a high payroll. They're the second best team, and they're going to make they're my number one wild card team. I got Washington, and they still have some pretty good pitching, and they're a good ball club. Washington third.
It's a good division.
Yeah, it is. Philly 4, and Philly's off to a good start, and Miami is the team in the rear in the East.
I have the Braves 1, Mets 2, but the Mets a wild card. Washington 3, Philly with this hot start 4, and Miami 5.
So we're exactly the same. Drew?
Bingo. Drew? Copy and paste?
Braves win the division. Mets get the wild card at second place. I got the Phillies at 3, Nats 4, and, of course, the Marlins in the basement.
All right, so pretty close with everybody there. Certainly, we both have Atlanta and New York as teams that will be in the playoffs. In the Central, I've got St. Louis as the winner. Arenado's a big pickup. Milwaukee second. Hader closes everybody down. The Cubs have no hitting, but they'll finish third. Cincy 4, Pittsburgh 5. Milwaukee is my number 2 wildcard team.
Drew?
Copy and paste, except Brewers do not make the playoffs.
So you got San Diego?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, I thought about that. That's probably
Yeah, I
the right
have
way to
San
go.
Diego as the other one.
Okay.
St. Louis wins the division. Cincinnati 2, Milwaukee 3, Cubs 4, and fire sale at trade deadline for the Cubs. Pittsburgh 5. No wild card out of that division. My other wild card is going to be San Diego from the West, where I'll go Dodgers win it. Everybody's going to have that. San Diego 2, Arizona 3, Giants 4, Colorado 5.
Well, I've got Dodgers winning, San Diego, and I almost had them as a wild card. I've got them 2. I got the Giants 3, Arizona 4, Colorado in the rear.
I'm copy and paste what Brett had.
Okay. And then my wild card would be the Mets.
What a wild card game.
Mets in Milwaukee. Dodgers play the Mets. Dodgers win. You've got Atlanta in St. Louis. I've got Atlanta winning that. I've got the Dodgers beating St. Louis. I have the Dodgers playing the White Sox in the World Series. And I've got the Dodgers repeating.
Went a long time without winning one. They go back-to-back.
Yep.
That is not far-fetched at all. Wild card for me, San Diego over the Mets, then Dodgers over San Diego, and that will have a lot of mouthing from the dugouts. That benches will clear 2 or 3 times in that series. No punches thrown, of course. NLDS, St. Louis over Atlanta. NLCS, St. Louis over the Dodgers. That means I've got a Yankees-Cardinals World Series, and I can tell you now I'll be off for 2 weeks late October going to every game in both cities.
Wow. I hope it was a good financial year for you because that will cost you tons.
Recently texted a friend of mine that I was going to pick St. Louis and the Yankees in the World Series, and I told him, I said, I don't care what it cost.
All right. You're going to have fun. That will be true. If indeed that is the scenario, we will not see Brett for 2 weeks.
All right.
How's your October play out?
My National League wild card, Padres and Mets. Padres advance to take on the Dodgers. Padres upset the Dodgers in the DS. Braves over the Cards in the DS. Padres and Braves in the CS. Padres advance to the World Series. Astros, Padres win in 7.
You've got the
Astros World Series
in the World Series. Wow.
Yeah. One more for old time's sake for Dusty Baker. All right. And you know, this is tough. Name the Padres manager. It's a tough one. And it's not Charlie Montoyo.
Mm-hmm. Bruce Bochy.
Jace Tingler.
Oh, my gosh.
Stage name.
Jace
Tingler. Stage name, right, Drew?
Yeah, sounds like
it's a good one.
Yeah. Wow.
I'm telling you, these baseball managers, you could win every sports trivia contest just on those. If you know them, you drink up the house.
I should know them too. I used to know every manager without a question. Baseball is
Derek
not
Shelton
in our
in Pittsburgh
like it used to be. Derek Shelton.
Derek Shelton in Pittsburgh.
Sounds like a perfect soap opera cast member.
Really does. Sounds like Derek Shelton probably assumed Jace Tingler's ID in a previous life on All My Children.
There you go. I like it. It's a good storyline. Here's a good storyline for you. You want to celebrate? The best way to celebrate, if it's going to be a Yankee and Cardinal World Series, many of you may be going straight for the Tiger Tail, that wonderful craft malt liquor from the good folks at Grind City Brewing. It is the official craft beer of the University of Memphis. It is special. It is not your father's malt liquor, I can tell you that. It comes in 16-ounce six-packs. It is created with bold and smooth flavors, got about 7.5% alcohol. Not about, it is 7.5% alcohol, and it's got this finish that is so clean and so easy drinking. You will love it. It started where you could only get it at Grind City Brewing. Then it went to other spirit shops, and now you can still get it at both of those places, but it's in Kroger. It has become so popular, you can get Tiger Tail at Kroger. Tiger Tail and Grind City Brewing, taking care of beerness in Memphis. We're back in just a minute. We'll talk a little bit more about the Grizzlies and their quest for number 7. Could they catch the Mavericks? We'll chat about that in just a minute.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ. Listen to us daily on AM 560, 98.5 FM, and 96.1 FM.
It's happening again at Family Leisure. Don't miss out again this summer because pools are going fast. Spas in stock now, too, and they're ready for delivery. New 2021 patio furniture, state-of-the-art in stock now, and up to 20% off select sets. Swing into spring with a brand new play gym, professional installation available. The temperature's rising, and so is the service at Family Leisure. Family Leisure, I-40 and Whidden Road, where family and fun come together.
Hey, it's John Stacey from the Blue and Gray Show. Yeah, I know it's the middle of the spring and you're not expecting to hear from me, but we're going to do the first Blue and Gray Show right here on Sports 56, 98.5 and 96.1 on April 11th from 5 to 7 p.m. We're going to look at the Tigers as they get through their first full spring with the new staff, and you never know which Tiger will call or show up with us. Oh, and the really cool thing, we're going to be commercial free. 2 full hours of the Blue and Gray Show right here on Sports 56, 98.5, 96.1, April 11th from 5 to 7.
Is your bank standing in the way of you and your sportsbook? Try Action 24/7. We're cutting out the middleman. Deposit or withdrawal in cash. No more bank delays or failures. Action 24/7 has more than 100 partners in Tennessee for cash deposits and withdrawals. Visit action247.com for a location. Cash deposits and withdrawals from your Tennessee sportsbook. Action247.com. You got action.
Must be 21 or older and in Tennessee. For problem gambling support, call 800-889-9789.
Need to sell your home? You're in luck because I buy houses. All you have to do is call Bill at 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Grab that PIN, 901-406-1101, or just save it in your phone. Bill at I Buy Houses. I Buy Houses buys houses in any area, in any condition, at any time. As simple as that. I Buy Houses is guaranteed to close in 5 days. So if you need your cash fast, just call Bill at I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101. Has your house been on the market? Were you just tired of renters? Or is it just time to start over? Well, avoid repairing, cleaning, painting, and prepping your house. Just pick up the phone and call Bill at 901-406-1101. That's Bill at I Buy Houses. If you're in Southwind, South Memphis, North Mississippi, North Memphis, Collierville, if you can hear this, just call my friend Bill at I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101.
Now, more of Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brad Norsworthy.
A little bit earlier, we were talking with Doug Bell at Augusta from Sirius XM PGA Tour Radio. We're talking about how tough this golf course is. Justin Rose says, hold on, folks. Wait a second. All that Justin Rose has done.
But you 65.
Wait. He's birdied 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 15, 16. He has birdied 7 of his last 9 holes to go 6 under par, which would be 3 strokes better than Brian Harman and Hideki Matsuyama.
Yeah, if he birdies 17 or 18 pars, the other one, he's going to shoot a 65 and just level, 2 pars in, he's guaranteed of a 66.
Wow.
That is salty.
That would be incredible, and a 3-stroke lead on the Harman and Matsuyama. He would have a 4-stroke lead on Will Zalatoris and Webb Simpson. He would have also Christian Bezuidenhout and Patrick Reed. Siwoo Kim, Jason Kokrak, they are at 1 under par. I think Hatton is now 1 under par, too.
And with the impending weather, that could really hold up with just everybody trying to scuffle to stay around par 1 or 2 over.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, this is a heck of a run. And this golf course, as you heard Doug Bell say earlier, I mean, it is really playing difficult. A 66 today on that golf course, that is something really special.
Not so fast, my friend, on the weather. They're really have backed off the forecast. Now, tomorrow, only 20%, and Saturday, only 40% there. Sunday, 20% as well. So it may not hold up as much. But if you win a U.S. Open at Marion on that tight, compacted golf course with the wicker basket pins, a lot of people thought his game would be good at Augusta National, and maybe this is his year.
Maybe so.
He's done nothing lately, though.
No. Yeah, he's an interesting story. Remember, he had that great success at the British Open when he was like 17. I think he was 17, and he went pro.
98.
He decided
Marco Mir won.
He wasn't going to go to college. I think he was supposed to come to America to go to college. He went there, and he struggled, and then now he's gotten it. And look, the guy is a special player. There's no doubt about that. He's certainly capable of winning another major. There's no doubt about it. And I think he'd be a fine champion at Augusta. But one round, as you say, doesn't win it. Thursday does not do it for you. If you do that on Sunday, the odds are pretty good, especially if the course is playing this hard. We went into break, and I was sitting here looking. The Grizzlies are now 26-23. They're literally a game and a half away from the Mavericks in 7th spot. I sit here, they have not matched up with the Mavericks, and I think they still play them 2 more times head-to-head. Isn't that right? I'm pretty sure that's correct.
Yes.
Wouldn't it be something if they could catch them and get to 7?
Or get to 7, host that 7-8 game, win it, and then be sitting high and dry and just watching the rest of the play-in tournament play out. And we talked about it with Keith Smith and the because of injury. I understand that, but it's still happening. The Lakers drop. They're at 19 losses and 22s at the 7 with Denver. The Lakers could fall to the 7. It could be the Grizzlies going to Staples for that 7 or 8 game, or the Grizzlies hosting the. What if the Lakers what would another injury do?
I'm starting to sit here and think the Grizzlies are doing this without Jaren Jackson Jr. the whole year, without Justice Winslow, who's supposed to be the 3rd best player for most of this year. Brandon Clark has been in and out of the lineup. Now, this Melton has really become more and more important. But if you start to think, and you look at their bench, 30 points last night, maybe the Grizzlies are deeper than the Lakers. Think about that for just a second. What they've accomplished without Jaren Jackson Jr. the whole year.
With LeBron and Davis out, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here thinking to myself, wow, they're accomplishing some things I did not think they could handle. In fact, when they started off second half, they lost the first couple of games, we're sitting there going, they were going to lose that whole first road trip, and they turned things around.
And then this brutal schedule.
Well, yeah, and you got a guy like Conchar who's coming through for you in the clutch. Who would have thought?
My man, John Conchar. What do you mean?
Man, exactly.
My guy, John Conchar.
Man.
Number 46 in your program, number 1 in your heart, John Conchar, Dave.
The number 1 of your derision. That John Conchar.
If here you go. John Conchar hits a playoff winning bucket. I wear a jersey and with no T-shirt, gun showing. This area right here.
I hope that happens. I hope that happens. That would be so much
Now,
fun.
do I get a Conchar 46 but put Norsworthy on the back, or do I keep Conchar?
Oh, you got to keep Conchar.
Keep Conchar.
You got to keep Conchar.
Okay.
No doubt.
And no T-shirt, Drew. All this whole area right here, all showing.
Do you have to shave your back
That'd really
like
look
some
good,
of us
won't
would
it?
have to?
Shave my back. Man, there's not a hair on it.
Wow.
It's as slick as a baby's behind.
Wow. That's just like the top of your head, huh?
You got it. Head to back. From the top of my head to about my calves. There's not
you know what? We are probably
no
getting
Neil
carried
Walk
away.
am I.
We're getting carried away here. I hate to say it.
Grizzlies playoff fever. Catch it.
Because if the Grizzlies and the Mavericks, and I don't have it in front of me, and I don't have time to check it out, but I want to say they've played twice this year, and the games weren't close. It's a little like the Pelicans. The Grizzlies cannot beat New Orleans, and they can't seem to beat the Mavericks, and they got to play them both.
Two more with Dallas.
Right.
2 more with Dallas. Both at FedEx Forum, though.
How many more with the Pelicans?
With the Pels, just 1 more.
Just 1 more. Boy.
Mm-hmm. And that's at FedEx Forum.
If you go 2-1 with those, that really helps. That really helps.
You got Minnesota in there. You got Detroit in there.
Yeah.
You got the Tampa Raptors that are about quit in there. You got Sacramento twice in there. Get through this part of the schedule, and the Grizzlies will really be in the downhill slide.
I'm just shocked about last night, seriously. The bench playing the way they did, the domination, they fell behind early in the first quarter. They scored 43 in the second quarter. Grayson Allen and Conchar are really a part of their stars. Valanciunas, yet another double-double.
Just so solid.
But, you're talking about the third game in the 4 nights, the second of a back-to-back. I don't believe Atlanta had played the night before. You're in Atlanta.
And good teams.
There's no possible way you're supposed to win that game. You're missing 3 guys. I thought they were keeping those guys out, honestly, because they had it penciled in as a loss. And they win by 18.
You raised the white flag a little.
Yeah. And they
raised
win
the white
by
flag
18.
and Atlanta wouldn't take it.
Wow. 18.
Atlanta went into that game 3 over 500, and the Grizzlies come out of it 3 over 500. It was. This has been a great road trip.
Well, that's why we got a little fever going on right now. Now, when they have those
Conchar
matchups,
fever.
let's see. Conchar fever, led by Brett Norsworthy. What a story.
Told you he was a real contributor.
Yeah, well, such insight. It's always amazing.
Justin Rose now to 7 under.
Oh,
Dave,
no.
Birdied 17.
He's now birdied 8 of the last 10 holes. That is incredible.
Man, that is cooking with hot grease, isn't it?
Oh, my goodness. And 17 isn't your normal birdie hole either. Wow.
Mm-mm.
That is incredible. Now, all he's got to do is get through just par 18. You got a 4-stroke lead, and you shoot a 65.
Who are those knuckleheads that say you can't win it on Thursday?
65. Well, I still don't think you can win it on Thursday. But, wow, that's amazing. This portion of the show brought
you don't get a jacket on Thursday.
No. But you do get a big boost for it. You start getting measured. If you've got a 4-stroke lead or a 5-stroke lead, my goodness, if you were to birdie 18, whew, man. This portion of the show brought to you by Conway Services, heating, cooling, plumbing, electric, and, of course, the good old new technology called the Tankless. The Tankless water heater, where you never run out of hot water and you save money every time you use it because you're only going to spend money when you heat your water. That's it. You take a shower, you're using hot water, you're going to spend a little on your gas, but after that you don't because it only works when you are using it. The other great part is, that tank water heater you got in the attic, if it bursts, what a problem. That never happens because there is no tank. Most 10-year-old water heaters, they're about 65% efficient when they're new. The tankless starts at 98% efficient, stays at 98% efficient. And right now, John's got it going. He's going to give you a tankless water heater for as low as $79 a month, or he'll give you $300 for your old age tanked water heater. Just call 384-3511, 384-3511. The number for Conway Services. Back in a minute, we'll talk some Tigers with Greg Gaston. We got lots to talk about, football and basketball. That comes your way in just a minute.
Hi, folks. Good news from the Chevy Sheriff for truck buyers. It's Chevy Truck Month at the Sunrise Chevy Ranch. Rebates up to $7,500 and discounts high as $10,000. Bankrupt, bad credit, it's okay. Sunrise specializes in secondary financing. Need a good used truck? Remember, Sunrise Chevy specializes in used cars and trucks under $15,000. Chevy trucks cost less at the Sunrise Chevy Ranch, partner. Find new roads to 385 in Houston, Levy, and Collierville. Check out the all-new Sunrise Truck Corral. Huge selection of nothing but trucks. All makes, all models, all prices, all trucks, all the time. Next to Sunrise Wolf Chase.
As physicians, we know that what we do now will affect the future for us all.
The COVID-19 vaccine is now available. It's safe and very effective, and it's a great defense against coronavirus.
But we still need to continue to mask up, socially distance, and get tested.
Getting vaccinated will help us all get back to some semblance of normalcy.
Let's get vaccinated and tell your friends and family to do the same.
Memphis and Shelby County. Get vaccinated. It's our best shot.
Golfers, tee it up this year at Edwin Watts Golf Shops with the hottest new arrivals from Titleist. Introducing the new Titleist TSI family of drivers. The new TSI drivers are faster in the air, longer off the tee, and straighter down the fairway. 4 drivers give you maximum performance for any type of dedicated golfer. Swing by Edwin Watts Golf Shops and get custom fit today. Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee, and shop us online at worldwidegolfshops.com.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
2021 is finally here. Might I suggest we start the wonderful new year with a makeover for your beautiful house. I'm Brian Elder. I'm a roofer. I fix roofs. Don't let them tell you that it has to be replaced when all it may need is some love. 867-0303. Let me love on your roof. I've made quite the reputation over the last decade as the guy to call after the insurance company denies the claim. Overturning a claim that has gone bad is an art form where you argue county code, manufacturer specs, and details of your policy that they have to abide by. So let me see it first. If I say it's a claim, it's a claim. 867-0303. Money is free at Brian Elder Roofing with 0% financing for half a decade. I'll measure your roof from outer space and get you a quote right over the phone. 867-0303 or BrianElderRoofing.com.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, W253DF Memphis, and WIVG Tunica Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Welcome back to Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wallo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brett Norsworthy.
Final hour on this Thursday. Greg Gasson on all things Tigers. After I tell you about the title sponsor of this hour, that's DeSoto Auto Sales at 5704 Goodman Road, 662-890-7184. Visit them online at DeSoto Auto Sales. Come on down to DeSoto County, where DeSoto Auto Sales, very proud to serve DeSoto County and the surrounding area. All the cars at DeSoto Auto Sales test driven, checked out from bumper to bumper. Unlimited inventory, every make, every model. If it's not on the lot, they'll go out and find it for you. No shortcuts taken, but they treat you like family. Kind, courteous employees, laid-back atmosphere, down-home environment. They care about your time. They want you to enjoy the ultimate car experience. They know we live in a world today that time really matters. That's why you can walk in within 45 minutes, get the car you want, credit approved, test drive that car, paperwork completed, all that in 45 minutes or less. They know that we have to keep it simple, and you want to get in there and get out of there at DeSoto Auto Sales. 662-890-7184. Come on down to DeSoto County for that town and country experience at DeSoto Auto Sales. A lot to talk with Greg about with the Tigers, Dave, and Greg is with us year-round now. We're so glad to have Greg from Sports 56 Middays. You hear him every day, 10A to 1P. I almost said 10 to 6. Greg, you're not working that hard. You work pretty hard. He's brought to you on Thursday for us by Rule Smith, your RE/MAX Realtor. Visit yourgermantownagent.com, yourgermantownagent.com. Presto Shutters, law offices of Stephen Leffler, Mount Moriah Auto Sales, and the good folks, great people at Popalot.
It is really, for talking Tigers and fans and excitement, it's a really good period of time. As Greg joins us now, a double whammy last night, 2 sports. The football team gets a young man from Georgia named Sutton Smith who said, I want to go to Memphis. He's about 5'9", 185, a speedster. I want to go to Memphis because I want to be like Tony Pollard. I don't think in all the years, the 40 years I've been in Memphis, I would have ever thought a kid from Georgia would say, I want to be a kid like Melrose High School and go to Memphis and then get to the NFL. That was just unheard of. And then today, the good news about the blue chipper, Earl Timberlake, the 6'5" guard out of Miami, some thought would be a lottery pick in this year's NBA draft, but he got hurt, shoulder, little ankle issue too, is leaving Miami. He had entered the transfer portal and committed to the U of M. What a double shot that Tiger fans can get excited about that we just saw in the last 20 hours.
Great 24 hours here for me, too. I get to talk to you guys, and as I was waiting to jump on with you, I just watched Tommy Fleetwood ace 16 at Augusta National in the first round of the Masters. So I'm sitting here waiting for the introduction, go through the spots you guys had to read.
Drinks on Tommy Fleetwood.
How about that?
Yeah,
so, with the Fleetwood with the ace, but gosh, yeah, Dave, the last 20 hours or so has been fantastic. The Smith kid, and I've been waiting for that. I've been waiting to hear these recruits talk about all these offensive weapons that have gone to the NFL from the University of Memphis football program over the last 3-4 years. And so now you're starting to hear about that. And it's not just kids playing within Memphis, Shelby County, or just the Mid-South. You got to go into Georgia now, and you get a kid who's noticed what's happening. I mean, every time you put on an NFL game, there seems to be a Tiger performing, whether it's Tony Pollard or Antonio Gibson, right?
Yeah, prominent, Greg.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Anthony Miller, all these guys.
And Greg, what you want out of these recruits and him doing that, and I don't want to denigrate or even scoff at any name from the past. You can insert any school here. Heck, I'll use UCLA. It's no need mentioning Troy Aikman. It's no need mentioning Ken Norton Jr. Those players really don't have any idea, but they have an affinity for and some link, some understanding of the player not that far removed, and that's what Tiger football has accomplished.
Absolutely, yeah. History's nice, and some know history more than others. I would imagine you get a little bump when Isaac Bruce goes into Canton officially in August with the Memphis State / University of Memphis name next to him. So people of Memphis, if they don't know about it, they look it up, they find out more about them. But you're right, Stats, as far as the recent guys and what they have done and how they've impacted the Memphis program and now impacting the NFL on their respective teams. So that was really good. When I saw that yesterday already for 2022, of course, it's a verbal commitment. It's nothing etched in stone yet with a John Hancock, but that's really, really good news. Of course, we got Friday Night Stripes coming up a week from tomorrow. Now, as far as basketball is concerned, as long as this guy is healthy, I am really excited about this dude, Earl Timberlake, because this is a DeMatha guy. I love DeMatha guys, and he played for Kevin Durant's AAU team in the D.C. area. As Wolo said, talking about him, this guy was a possible, if he had stayed healthy, lottery pick or a first-round guy for sure. It seemed like he has all the intangibles. He certainly has the athleticism, scoring ability. The problem was the ankle first, which seems like he recovered from that, but the shoulder is a little bit concerning. But to be able to go in there, as Penny did, to pluck this guy from Miami, and what enticed him is he talked about the defense that Memphis plays. How many times do you hear a player talk about
Never.
the defense? I want to go and play for the guy who's put together one of the best defenses in the country. So Timberlake, you combine him with Davion Warren. I believe there's a couple of more still to go. And I'm feeling really good about what Penny is doing now as they're using, not Penny, only Penny, but every coach in college basketball is using the transfer portal as a free agency market, if you will.
All right, let me ask you what I asked both these guys earlier. And I think with Cisse leaving, they're now with the Timberlake signing, there's 2 available positions. And you could go with a big guy and a true point guard because those are positions of need, or you could go with athletes in this positionless deal that I think Penny envisions. And, there's word out there that now both the Lawsons, Jonathan along with Chandler, have been offered. Would you prefer the Lawsons, that athletic ability, and they know the Penny system because they both played for him in high school, or would you go for the position with a very experienced true point guard and big man?
That's a great question, first of all, and you're absolutely right about the Lawsons. That's a package deal. You can't pluck one of them. It's 2 or zero. So there's two thoughts to this. I just watched, and you guys watched, Baylor and Gonzaga in the national championship game. Gonzaga with a big, in Timmy, and the Baylor Bears with a biggie, although not a huge guy, in Vital. Big, powerful guys inside, one a little bit more defensive-oriented, the other one a little bit more offensive-oriented. So I understand positionless basketball. I don't necessarily know if you can win it with positionless basketball, because if you go up against a team with bigs, what happens? How big are you going to be? Athleticism is one thing, but do you have the strength? So I don't know, but if you're going to hand me these Lawsons, and I think there's the Jonathan kid, who's the kid coming out of high school now from Houston, who had transferred and played for Mike Miller. I think he might be the best of all of them. And that's a lot to give up and say no to if they say, yeah, we want to come to Memphis. So I'm certainly with Penny to offer. Chandler, I liked him coming out too, although he seemed more like a role player at Oregon, but in the rotation. So, Dave, I'm kind of talking in circles here, because I guess it would have to be, who are you going to give me as the center and the point guard? But here's the one thing I will say, and I've said it a million times on middays, and I'll say it again. I love Lomax. I think he's an integral part of this team, He is a pit bull. Every team needs one of those guys. He is the leader. He will be a senior. I still don't believe the team makes a deep run in the NCAA tournament if he's your point guard. He's just not enough of a scorer for me. Now, if you surround him with four guys who are NBA caliber players, maybe I rethink that. So if you can give me a better scoring guard, a bigger guard as far as height, because Alex is tough, he's strong, but he's short, then maybe I'd go the center point guard. But it is tough to say no to the Lawsons if they want to come here, because I do think Jonathan is the one I'm looking at that may end up being a star.
I think you're right about, of all the four brothers.
We've
go ahead.
kept hearing that. We keep hearing the next great ones on
but
the
we
way.
don't know.
What do both of y'all? But we don't know. What do both of y'all? And this is hard to put yourself in this position. But if you're Penny Hardaway and you sit down with the Lawsons, with all of them, what kind of understanding do you have to have?
Well, here's the thing. Where does Keelan fit into this thing? There is a job opening on his staff. Is that a prerequisite? Are we back to that again? Or is this going to be just the two guys and you don't have to worry about Coach Lawson as a member of the staff? Where do we stand with that? Is it a package deal? That's what I worry about. It didn't work out the first time around, but remember, that wasn't Penny. So I don't know.
And it wasn't the first coach that brought him either. And right. In my mind, and I'm trying to be as objective and transparent as possible. In my mind, the way that all worked out was that it was Josh's decision, in order to get Diedrich and KJ, that you hired Keelan Lawson. He left the job at Hamilton, just like he's got a job now at Wooddale. He left the job to become a part of that program. Now, when Tubby came in and Josh left, Keelan was asked by the then athletic director, Tom Bowen, to keep the team together, which he did. And at that point was really being told by the athletic director that he would keep his job, that he would have a job in the new staff no matter what happened. And so he lived up to his portion of the deal. And then when Tubby came in, I don't think it was ever totally communicated. And I don't know if that was the president or the athletic director, however that worked. But when the Smith regime came in, he had his own son. He was bringing him in that position. And it was not communicated on the front end to him, whoever really did the hire of Tubby, that he was going to have to take Keelan. So he was given Keelan, didn't necessarily know Keelan, I don't think wanted Keelan, and basically changed his position. So he was not in the same position that he had, and that didn't sit well with him. And we all know what happened there. That was an ugly ending. And really the two kids, basically sort of quit on the team in the end. I don't know any way you can put it. That's sort of the way it worked.
They supported their father.
Yes,
they didn't
did.
like what happened. You're right. Here's Keelan, who's an assistant, getting bumped to basically the second row. I can understand where Keelan was coming from. I completely understand where Keelan's coming from. If this is something that is part of the deal and Penny wants it, look, Keelan's a good basketball mind, but I still believe a veteran coach is the way to fill that void on the roster. I mean, on the coaching vacancy. But if you can get these losses, you feel that they are going to maybe be able to take you to that next level, and he's part of the deal. You know, that's Penny's total call. But I would have no issues with it because, again, I don't think this was the Lawsons' fault. They were in a position where Keelan was an assistant coach. They were playing, and all of a sudden the regime changed. And as you said eloquently, Dave, Tubby didn't want Keelan to be a part of it. He didn't mind the players, but he didn't want the coach. And unfortunately, that did not sit well with the players who happen to be the sons of Keelan.
Right.
And when you are a package deal, and one person wants the whole package, and the next one just wants a little bit of this and a little bit of that, well, it's all going to come undone.
Well, and we should point out,
assembly required, Greg. You know about that on Christmas Eve for little children.
In this particular instance, we do not know if indeed Keelan is a part of this. If he wants, because all I've heard is that he's still the coach at Wooddale. So I don't really know if that part is on the table. I know he's been on other radio shows. I don't think he is articulated that he's part of it. So we'll have to wait and see. In fact, he made the statement on a show that the two kids were not a package. That you did not, Chandler was already offered and Jonathan had not been, and that Jonathan didn't have to play with Chandler. Now it seems as if, or the reports are there, that both have been offered. So, maybe that's to ensure the deal. It seems to me that the Jonathan was the bigger prize, but they both played for Penny. They both know his system, and as I think we've all said, I think of all the four brothers, if we were listing them in order, you would probably list Jonathan 1, Diedrich 2, and maybe pretty equal, KJ and Chandler. Is that fair?
Well, if he's better than Diedrich, you got to take whatever deal is offered.
Diedrich was
Greg.
a great college
player.
Didn't have the footwork to play in the NBA. Everybody knew it, and he's making money professionally wherever he's at.
He didn't have the athleticism. He had great fundamentals. He had great footwork. He did not have the leaping ability or the sheer speed, and wasn't a consistent enough shooter
Those feet were
to play
big
in the NBA.
and clumpy, though.
But
he was good around the cup.
Yeah, and when I say footwork, I'm talking about, the whole package, leaping ability and all that. But I understand what you're saying, Will. He was a great college player. Jonathan seems like he's just a gazelle. I mean, he can get up and down the court. He's got size. He can shoot from the outside. I like him an awful lot. I think Chandler has more offensive ability than KJ did, but maybe I'm selling KJ a little bit short. He was a dogged player. He was a tough player, and I like that.
I mean, they're all good. They're
all good. And look, give credit to mom and pops, man. They did a great job rearing those kids and having them do what they do. It must not be easy. You know how many games they must have been at, having to bring them back and forth and all that. So, look, I like Keelan a lot. He's been on middays, and maybe we'll try to get him on next week. So, again, you're right. We don't know if he's involved, and we don't know if the kids are together. But my guess is, especially for Memphis, that they are together. And it makes a lot of sense. I can't imagine that, hey, we'll take Jonathan, but we won't take the other one. That doesn't make sense to me. I think it's going to be them together. But your original question, whether or not you go after a big and a point guard or the Lawsons because you don't have enough numbers as far as scholarships are concerned, that's a fair question, Dave, and it's a hard question to answer right now.
Let me just tell you this, off the subject, Justin Rose just parred 18. So he shoots a 65 today that has a 4-stroke lead on Brian Harmon and Hideki Matsuyama.
Well,
that is
go a long
one
way.
heck of a first round on a track that played very, very difficult today.
We haven't spoken about Justin Rose, and obviously we had the COVID year, but we haven't spoken about Justin Rose in a couple of years. Let's be honest. but he has a great track record with Masters. He's done everything but put on the green jacket. He's been close. So I think he was forgotten by a lot of people. I can guarantee if you go back and look at all the predictions from the national media, they weren't picking Justin Rose even close. That was a great first round. If he can sustain that, he's going to wear the green jacket on Sunday.
Yeah, but it's Thursday, so just be careful. It's Thursday.
It is Thursday.
It was more people picking Robert McIntyre than Justin Rose.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Oh, Bobby Mack.
He's back in town.
So we've got back in town football. Next Friday, week from tomorrow, Friday Night Lights. What do you want to see from Ryan Silverfield's bunch?
Want to see the quarterbacks. Everybody wants to see the quarterbacks. We've had a number of years now where we knew what we were getting in Brady White, and then we've talked about it before, and then before that you had the great run of quarterbacks that they had. So you never worried about what was going to happen. Now, all right, is Ganell the guy? Is he going to be the next in line in succession after Riley Ferguson and after Paxton Lynch and, of course, Brady? Or is somebody else going to step up? What does Peter Parrish look like? Obviously, he was at LSU, so he was recruited by a big-time program before he transferred to Memphis. I do want to see what's going to happen with the running backs because there are a whole bunch of them. But who's going to step up, if any? Is it going to be running backs by committee? Is Drake Clark going to be the guy who's going to be able to stay injury-free? So that's something I'm looking at.
Don't forget Asa Martin.
Asa Martin really started to help the team later in the season. He's a little guy. He's strong, though. But there's a couple of other new guys. I want to see these new guys that Ryan and his staff have gone out and recruited and see what they can bring to the table. Of course, you're going to get those true freshmen that didn't enroll early in August, so they'll be a part of camp. And then defensively, we know some of the guys that are coming back. There's some leaders there, and there's going to be some new faces as well. So I'm always looking for who's going to stand out on a defensive side. Got a new kicker this year, got a new punter this year. So there's a lot of things to be excited about and to be curious about. And the fact that fans can come on out a week from tomorrow, open to the public, free to the public. There's going to be some tailgating going on. I know it's not quite back to normal yet, but we're going to have that feel at least a week from tomorrow.
We are, Greg. I mean, we're coming out of a global pandemic of I hope once in 100, 200 year deal, and I think people are ready to bust at the seams to get back to sports, and I hope people are safe and double vaxxed. And if you're at all skittish, leery, worried, I'll say afraid. There are things I'm afraid of. I'm no big tough guy, but if you're afraid, then it's not for you. But for the ones that can go, enjoy.
It's not, and there may be some people slow getting back on the train, but it will eventually happen. And look, they've been doing a good job with the vaccines. They're available. What is it, like today, in the next few days? Anybody. You don't even have to sign up for the darn thing. So
come on.
Yeah, get on over there. Take care of business. You know, I got to, not that I want to talk about my personal stuff here on the air, but I will. I went and got my my checkup today from my doc. And my doc said, because I asked him about the coronavirus thing, I said, I have my 2 shots, everything. I still wear the mask. And he goes, you're good, man. You're good. You're fine.
Yeah.
Even if you're around somebody who's even positive, you can't get it and you can't spread it, so you're good. So it's all about people getting the vaccine. And then the more they get it, the better we're going to be. And hopefully, look, and then he said also, and again, I won't name names, but he said it's going to get to a point where I think mayors and people that have the power to make decisions around the country are going to say, all right, we have 4 more weeks of this stuff, and after that, we're opening everything. And it's on you. It's on you after that because we have to move on in this world.
Greg, I'm with you. I've talked to a lot of medical people the last 4 weeks, 3.5 weeks, 4 weeks. And they say almost to a man, woman of any degree, of any, whether it's nurse practitioner, doctor, medical assistant, anyone, COVID's over. And especially if you've been double vaxxed. And I went the extra mile, Greg. I got double vaxxed, and I even got me a rabies shot just to be safe. I'm kidding.
Got
that is really big. Yeah, I went Moderna, Pfizer, and I wanted to try Johnson & Johnson.
And a scotch and water.
I do want to remind everybody, though, you do need to get vaccinated because we had 155 new cases in Shelby County today. I'm not counting them every day like I used to, but I did notice 155 new. So there is still some COVID, but please, please get the vaccine. Last thing on the spring game, you mentioned the quarterback. I want to see what this kid Gunnell can do. I want to see what Peter Parrish can do. And I can't even remember the name of the freshman from Texas, but he can throw and he can run. He's a dual. It should be fun watching these three guys go.
Yeah, and look, there's four guys that Ryan Silverfield has spoken about. The kid from Texas is he's a true freshman and won a state title in Texas. So yeah, and then one other thing too is that the Taj Washington loss is a pretty significant loss. So who is going to be able to step up? We know they got one terrific wide receiver, but
Calvin Austin.
Calvin Austin and
Sean
Dykes.
And don't forget
back.
Sean Dykes. Yeah.
Sean Dykes, tight end. But as far as the other receivers, who is going to step up? Because you always need 4 or 5 guys.
Yeah.
And that will be one of the things also to look out for.
Yeah, Washington was clearly going to be either one or two. Between him and Austin, that was going to be fantastic. I think Ivory's back. There's other guys. And don't forget the young man that transferred from Arkansas that was at Central High School. He'll be in the mix. So there'll be other things.
Good player.
But you're right. I mean, you lost a guy that, look, he's good enough to go to USC. He's a good player. There's no question about that. That is a loss with Taj Washington. Thank you, my friend. We appreciate it. That is for sure. And we'll see you next Friday right here, same time, same place.
All right, sounds good, guys.
Thank you. Greg Gaston with us every Thursday, and he's brought to you by Ruel Schmidt, your RE/MAX Realtor. Visit yourgermantownagent.com, yourgermantownagent.com. Thank you, Ruel, for being on our team and the Tigers team. Presto Shutters, the law offices of Stephen Leffler, Mount Moriah Auto Sales, and Papa Lock.
And we'll let you know that this portion of the show also brought to you by the good folks at Homer Skelton Hyundai, Genesis of Olive Branch, right there at the corner of Craft Road and Highway 78. That's Lamar in Memphis. It is the very first exit in Mississippi, and they are the very number one, I think, car dealer in all of our metro area. And if you go by national trends here, in Genesis, there are 355 dealers of that wonderful luxury car, which I think is the best bang for the buck when it comes to a luxury car. Top 50 in the country, top 10 in the region, top 2 or 1, depending on the month in the district. They're doing something right. Well, they got a team that's been together for 14 years. It's led by Chris True. Now there's a guy over the Olive Branch of Genesis. That's Vinny Gerard, who knows this product really well. He knows luxury cars, been in the market a long, long time. Came from Montreal, fell in love with Memphis. He's been here selling cars for a long time, and he understands exactly what the G70, the G80, the G90, or the GV80, that van, he knows what they're all about. It's about service. If you would to call him directly, it's 662-890-6684. That's the direct number, 662-890-6684. Vinny Gerard might just bring to you a van to check out. He'll bring you a car to test drive if you're serious about owning a Genesis. That's how they raise the bar, and you know the product. It's so good. You get a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty on every new Hyundai and every new Genesis car. And for every one of those new cars, you also get a 36,000-mile, 3-year maintenance package on the house. Simple. They want to take care of you at Homer Skelton Hyundai and Genesis of Olive Branch. We take the time out. When we come back, we'll talk about a big event that's coming up June the 6th at the Hilton. They will honor Peyton Manning. The AutoZone Liberty Bowl will, and then the day after is the AutoZone Liberty Bowl golf tournament with a bunch of coaches that is to raise money for St. Jude. Steve Earhart, the big cheese, the head honcho of the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. He comes your way in just a minute.
Get happy with Sports 56 Happy Hour with Johnny Radio. Weekday afternoons from 1 to 3 on Sports 56, 98.5, and 96.1.
You don't think about a lawyer until something goes wrong. When that happens, let attorney Stephen Leffler fight for you and your family. You don't leave the house in the morning expecting an accident, but it happens every day. A car wreck, you slip and fall, or you get accused of a crime and find yourself fighting for your reputation. Stephen Leffler has been fighting for you for over 35 years. Don't do it alone. Let Stephen Leffler fight your battles for you. Call Stephen Leffler, 901-527-8830, or go to LefflerLaw.com. Here to fight for you and your loved ones.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli, with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
If ever there was a time for comfort food, this is it. And there's no comfort food like Sunrise on Jefferson. Fresh-made breakfast featuring Sunrise's signature homemade square biscuits, or the huge selection of hot, fresh, and fast lunch items are all part of what has always made Sunrise the most comforting of comfort foods in Memphis. Of course, everything that can be done to keep you and the staff safe at Sunrise is a top priority. And you can always order ahead and get delicious Sunrise to go. At a time this confusing, it's good to know there's one thing you can count on: Sunrise.
This is a job alert. If you're looking for work, this will interest you, whether you're looking for full-time, part-time, or even something temporary if you've been recently furloughed. Text 107-JOB to 49330. That's 107-JOB to 49330. Office work available now in a clean office environment with all COVID precautions taken. Text 107-JOB to 49330 and someone will be in touch about these job opportunities available now. Text 107-JOB to 49330.
Welcome back to Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wallo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brett Norsworthy.
Welcome back in, halfway home on this really beautiful Thursday afternoon. I just saw a tweet from Aki Collins. Remember him? Former Tiger assistant coach, got really ill. Missed a big part of the season, couldn't coach the rest of the year, and then I think was back down in the high school ranks or scouting in the NBA. He just got a job as an assistant coach at Penn State. So congratulations to Aki Collins. This portion of the show is brought to you by Sheldon. Sheldon Rosengarten. When you want the job done, who are you going to call? You're going to call Sheldon. That's our guy with Marks Mensdorf Realtors. He's got a partner, Kelly Erb, and they've been selling houses so fast you wouldn't believe it. As soon as I mention a house on the air, like I've done several times, like one in Midtown on a Monday, it was sold on a Saturday. It had 2 offers. They got houses in East Memphis. They've really got houses everywhere. So if you're thinking of selling from downtown to Germantown or beyond, talk to 2 to 3 real estate brokers and make sure that Sheldon and Kelly Erb are one of them. Their experience and that strategic marketing program, sometimes with the Shell Bucks, well, it sets them apart from all the other brokers, just like hearing about your home. I'll say your home on the air if you do a deal with Sheldon. You can reach them at 483-0546 or at memphisrelocate.com. Got that job done with Sheldon. Always a pleasure to chat with our friend, the Big Cheese, the head honcho of the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. Well, you got stymied last year by COVID. There was no tournament. There was no night for the Distinguished Citizen Award. And so now you've got it. On June the 6th, the great Peyton Manning, a first father and son winner of this great award. Archie won it in 2016. You will honor them at the Hilton on the 6th of June. Congratulations.
Well, Dave, thanks for having us on, and it really is a great honor that Peyton Manning, who's maybe one of the hottest personalities in the country, not only for what he's done on the field, but he's been a great philanthropist, he and his wife, and it was interesting to watch the NCAA finals there on CBS when Jim Nantz talked about Peyton Manning and talked about that was the stadium that Peyton Manning built, when he had those great years with the Colts. But then the hospital's named after him there in Indianapolis as well. So, he was going to come last year, and as you said, it's great that he was been able to come back the very same weekend that he was going to come last year because he's in demand all over the country. So, yeah, we're very proud to be able to present Peyton Manning as this year's AutoZone Liberty Bowl Distinguished Citizen Award.
It'll be a lot of fun, the festivities that Sunday night, and then golf at some point. Will golf be the next day, Steve?
Yeah, that's correct. This is, I think it's the 26th year of our AutoZone Liberty Bowl golf tournament. It's 100% of the proceeds go to St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, and we'll play 2 rounds. I think it's the largest, charity golf tournament here in the Mid-South for St. Jude. Certainly the big tournament, the World Golf Classic, but that's a different kind of tournament, certainly with the WGC. But we usually have about 300 golfers. We have tee-off times at 7:15 in the morning and then again at 1:15 in the afternoon. And, 100%, you can even write your checks out to St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. So it's a very pure event. We're very proud to be able to have that. And that'll be out at Southwind, so those golfers get a chance to play where the pros will be playing a month later when they get here for the WGC Championship.
Do you know if you will have SEC coaches like you used to have, and then things got a little bit different with media days being earlier and everything else? How will that play out? Will you be able to have American Athletic Conference coaches and SEC coaches and Big 12 coaches, for that matter? That's the tie-in.
No, we changed that a few years ago. Dave, you're absolutely right. That's what we used to do in the days when we actually hosted media days back in the old days with Mike Slive and Conference USA. But as you pointed out there, with media days changing all over the country and coaches having the month of June off, so, we really work hard on our dinner the night before to be the big celebration and bring in a really top, when I say a top achiever, because it's somebody who's reached the pinnacle of their profession, whether it was, I remember when General Tovo, who was in charge of all our forces in Afghanistan, the Army flew him back to receive the award. And of course we had, admirals and the Nobel Prize winner, Peter Doherty, won it. We had, remember you helped us with Lee Corso when he came in, and Tim McCarver. So somebody who's reached the pinnacle. So that's our real emphasis, is on the Sunday night dinner, and then the golf is to have a great time there, but we don't try and press to have coaches come and screw up their schedules and that kind of thing.
I remember.
Well, it'll be fun to have Peyton and all the records that he set, and really he was one of those players, Steve, that a lot was expected, and he delivered on each and everything. I mean, he lived up to all the billing from, his 10th grade year at Newman, right through Tennessee, right through the NFL, and on his way to Canton, but a stop in Memphis before that.
Stats here, you make a great point. There's very few people in any profession who they go to the top from day one because they have such great leadership, charisma, and it's unbelievable how he won high school championships in Tennessee when he, won, so many games there, and then won the championship with the Colts, and then went to Denver and won championships. So there's very few. You could probably throw in a Tom Brady, or, one that I'd throw in is Reggie White.
LeBron?
Remember when Reggie was here with the, the Memphis Showboats, he created a winning atmosphere, and I remember when he was going back into the NFL and he was a free agent. I remember the Green Bay Packers called me and I said, look, if you sign Reggie, you'll win a Super Bowl. And sure enough, they did, because there's certain leaders like that, and Peyton has that. And what a great tribute to Archie Manning and Olivia. By the way, Archie and Olivia will be attending as well on the Sunday the 6th, and as David said, this would be the first time a father and son that they both achieved that greatness. So what an unbelievable family with, I don't know whether Eli and Cooper will be coming, and now they've got a grandson that's outstanding in high school player. So what a great family. And you hit it right on the head that Peyton is achieve greatness. I think, Dave, you said the other day, maybe we'll get a little hint of his his speech at Canton when he's inducted in the Hall of Fame later the next month. Here, we'll have him here in June, and so we're very blessed that one of the nation's leading, I guess super characters here will be here in Memphis, and then on to the Hall of Fame in July.
Maybe you'll give us a little taste of what he's going to say in Canton. That would be kind of cool. Obviously, he's not going to give you the whole speech, but I'd love a little tidbit. The thing I remember, honestly, the first time I went, wow, what a special kid. And it didn't have anything to do with his abilities to throw a football or to survey a field. It was just how he thought. And that was, I want to say he was in a dorm, and there was lines outside in order to get tickets for his football game. And he saw that and ordered pizza on his own dollar for those in the line who were waiting to buy these tickets so that he could feed them. I'm serious. That was the first thing I ever remembered about him. And, that's leadership right there, taking care of others.
I can tell you one as a pro. After the very sad case of Leonard Little involved with a very tragic accident in St. Louis, that following week, the Colts had an open date, and Peyton drove from Indianapolis to St. Louis to be with his friend in a time of need while Leonard Little was in jail.
I'll be darned.
I never knew that.
Well, I appreciate you guys sharing that. But another memory that sparks is that he started that tradition of going over and thanking the band. Remember, he'd crawl up the ladder there and lead the band.
At Legion Field, I was there.
Yeah. Okay, and that's just Peyton. What a great leader and great personality, and he's certainly been generous here in Memphis. He's done a lot that people don't realize. I know it was announced and it was public about how he and Ashley, had helped the Overton Park rebuild there. He had donated some money to for youth golf over there at the Overton Park. So a generous man, and again, a very studious kind of guy. Again, I remember when he was in college and he was talking about diagnosing plays. Of course, he got that a lot from Archie, his dad. But he was just so thoughtful and ahead of himself, and and very few people that can bring greatness out of the people around him, whether it's in philanthropic kind of way or around his ESPN TV shows, or around when he came down here and he tried to impersonate Elvis, and I know Priscilla was talking about that when he came down. He just he makes you grin and laugh in those appearances on Saturday Night Live. So I think on June 6th, the folks that come out to join us for that dinner there to raise money for St. Jude will have a really great evening to get the chance to see Peyton Manning and hear from him. And, maybe I'm not sure we'll make Archie speak or not, but, certainly it's Peyton's night.
Oh, I think you should make Archie speak. Proud Papa, first father-son combination. We gotta work on that one. All right, last thing. How do you sign up for this thing? Both golf, which, by the way, if you've never get a chance to play TPC Southwind, here is your chance, and it'll be in unbelievable shape because I think this is the last event that they have before the pros for the WGC come.
Yeah, no, you're right, David, and that's why it's such a great opportunity because they really tune the golf course up for the WGC coming up in the following month. So, yeah, it's an opportunity for people that are not members to play out at Southwind, and it's always in great shape, and they're wonderful hosts. So if you want to play golf or come to the dinner, just get in touch with us. Either call us at the 795-7700, 795-7700, or you can email us. And the best way, Kevin Alexander in our office, keeping track of things, he's Kevin.Alexander@libertybowl.org, or you can just go to libertybowl.org. It's .org, libertybowl.org, and Kevin will take your call or sign you up. But I do send a note. I know that you got a lot of loyal listeners, some that certainly they participate with us, but it's going to be a sellout at the dinner. There's no question about it. With already we're just announced it on Tuesday, and I think that's already, we're 2/3 the way there. So, and, we're going to observe the health rules that are in place at that time, knocking on wood that it'll be really pretty well open here by the time we get to June in 60 days. But, yeah, let us know if you want to play in the golf tournament or come to the dinner. So June 6th at the Hilton and then June 7th at Southwind, and we appreciate it. And all the proceeds, not a portion, but 100% of the proceeds go to St. Jude.
Thank you, my friend. We appreciate it. Best of luck, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, guys.
That is the Big Cheese, the head honcho of the AutoZone Liberty Bowl, Steve Arrow, on what is going to be a great, great sort of weekend, the dinner, and then the golf tournament. It's brought to you, this portion of the show, anyway, brought to you by Ken Garland, Custom Home Builders. Ken knows, what a big decision you're making. You're going to build your dream home. Maybe you're going to renovate. Maybe you're going to take that old home that you like and you want to make it a modern palace. Nobody does a renovation with innovation better than my guy, Ken Garland. That's partly because he sees the little details and the big picture all at once. And when you're committing to something, he commits to you. He knows that you want him to work closely with you. It's a big decision. It's a lot of money. You're going to get exactly what you want and expect. Quality construction, on time, on budget. That's the way they've done it for 2 generations at Ken Garland Custom Home Builders. See what I'm talking about? Go to kengarland.com. Then make this call, 751-1632. You'll love chatting with them. 751-1632, Ken Garland Custom Home Builders. UCLA is pretty smart, Brett Norsworthy. They just signed Mick Cronin to a new 2-year contract extension. He'll be a Bruin through 2027, and he gets a little bump. He'll be making $4 million a year at the end of the deal.
He will make them more resembling of UCLA of the past. I think before he's done there, he'll join Jim Herrick as the only 2 coaches to win it all there since John Wooden.
I wouldn't disagree with that at all. We'll take the break. Let me let you know before we get to Taco Bell Crunch Time. The sweetest thing in Memphis, that would be Dinstall's. Dinstall's now with so many locations over the weekend. They're open at that new place downtown. I can't wait till they do the Chocolate Museum because that's going to be in the works. A candy museum below where they have the new Dinstall's downtown. But every day, or just about, you can go see where they make the candy. Go to that place. That's chock full of great things like strawberries right now, or my favorite Cashew Crunch, or the Turtlettes, or the fudge that's award-winning. You can get that, again, at Pleasant View where they make it, or Laurelwood in my neighborhood, or Germantown, or Collierville. So many different ways that you can find and enjoy wonderful, wonderful Dinstall's candies. This is the signature of Memphis. If you are thinking about going away, visiting somebody from out of town, I'm promising you this. Dinstall's makes that gift to your friend or family member very, very special. They'll appreciate you forever if you bring Dinstall's. We take this quick timeout. We're back in a minute. We will give you Taco Bell Crunch Time.
Same great shows.
We welcome you back to Sports 56 Middays. What's up? It's Sports 56 Happy Hour.
A new spot on the FM dial. Check out Sports 56 on our new FM home at 98.5.
I'm here with the great Pat Donahue from the Rendezvous Restaurant Shipping Department.
Thanks, Brett. We've been shipping our ribs all over the country now for decades from our USDA-inspected shipping kitchen in the Pinch District. We hand-cook our ribs in pits that Mr. Charlie built over charcoal, just like they do at the restaurant.
So what comes in a rib box?
We could do pork shoulder, we could do ribs, our sauce, seasoning, baked beans, coleslaw. We'll even throw in Pancho's cheese dip with our nacho boxes. We also put a bag of Rendezvous seasoned popcorn, heating instructions, some chef hats, some wet naps, and some other helpful tips from our kitchen. We ship our ribs overnight, exclusively FedEx. And we put them in nice packaging. We don't ever want to use styrofoam, so we use corrugated cardboard, actually 2 boxes that fit nice together. So the ribs get to you, your loved ones, or your clients in a safe, wholesome manner. Rendezvous ribs are perfect for out-of-town clients, customers, loved ones. We also ship ribs for any occasion.
Where do we order these great ribs?
You can go to www.hogsfly.com or give us a call at 1-888-464-7359.
Charlie Burgos' Rendezvous Restaurant in the alley since 1948.
Hey, it's me, your cousin, from Boston. I'm on the radio doing ads for Sam Adams. Now I'll be known as the Sam Adams guy instead of the dude who fell in the quarry. Sam Adams Boston Lager is crisp and refreshing, which is why I bring a six-pack wherever I go, except the movies anymore. Sam Adams, from Boston with love. Here's the legal part. Watch how fast I can read. The Boston Beer Company, Boston, Mass. Drink responsibly. Now, is that 30 seconds? Are we even close?
As physicians, we know that what we do now will affect the future for us all.
The COVID-19 vaccine is now available. It's safe and very effective, and it's a great defense against coronavirus.
But we still need to continue to mask up, socially distance, and get tested.
Getting vaccinated will help us all get back to some semblance of normalcy.
Let's get vaccinated and tell your friends and family to do the same.
Memphis and Shelby County. Get vaccinated. It's our best shot.
Hi, I'm Tito Beveridge, founder and master distiller at Tito's Handmade Vodka. In 1997, I started the first micro distillery in the state of Texas with my dog, Dog Joe, at my side. We're still working with dogs out at the distillery after all these years. Learn more about how dogs are a part of life here at Tito's Handmade Vodka at vodkafordogpeople.com. Tito's Handmade Vodka is made from corn and naturally gluten-free. Cheers. 80 proof Tito's Handmade Vodka, distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. Tito'sVodka.com.
Welcome back to Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wallo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brad Norsworthy.
Battle portion of the show brought to you by Commissary Barbecue. You can't beat either of the commissaries in Collierville or in Germantown, the original. Very quaint, very wonderful, perfect to go in now for sure. As we all get vaccinated, the best when it comes to ribs or pulled shoulder or the chicken. They were the inventors of the nachos. That's right. Actually, it started at the Germantown Charity Show. We heard the story. It was a person that worked at the Germantown Commissary at the time, and what a wonderful invention. And, of course, they do it better, I think, than everybody else. There are a lot of great barbecue places. I don't want to put down anybody, but I want to make sure I elevate my friend Walker Taylor and all the great food that he has, from tamales all the way through that sausage and cheese plate. There's something for everybody. Then you top it off with banana pudding or Brett's favorite, the Icebox Lemon Pie. You just can't beat the Commissary, and it's so easy. You can pick it up curbside still, I believe, in Germantown. I know you can definitely go through the drive-thru in the palatial Collierville Commissary at Poplar and Houston Levy Road. Make it easy on yourself tonight. Go get some Commissary. It is officially Taco Bell crunch time.
It is crunch time. You are looking live. In your life have you seen anything like that? Goodbye. Hello, Haskins.
Boop.
What's happening, big dog? How you doing? It's obviously crunch time.
Hammer, nail, coffin. This baby is over.
All one. Odd two. Odd three. Hey.
Time for Taco Bell Crunch Time. Taco Bell, home of the crispy tortilla chips, topped with a double portion of either seasoned beef or shredded chicken, plus refried beans, nacho cheese sauce, reduced fat sour cream, guacamole, and a 3-cheese blend. Nachos Bel Grande, heaping portion of chips, topped with ground beef, tomatoes, beans, nacho cheese sauce, and a dollop of sour cream. Taco Bell, home to great food you get on your way home real fast, and they bring you crunch time every day.
I learned today that the Grizzlies in the best stretch in a long time, and they should make the playoffs really kind of easily, just to at least get in the play-in game portion of the 7 through 10. But the questions are more numerous now than ever around Justice Winslow. He's not Chandler Parsons on this front office, but this would be the biggest front office miss for this group.
Yeah. And I agree, they are sitting pretty. They are up 5 games on the Pelicans for that 10th spot, which is still part of that play-in. And they're are 23 games left or 22 games left? That looks pretty darn good. I learned today that Augusta can play really hard. The guys could get to 4 under and fall back. And most of the field really fell back. There's a couple at 3 under, and They're good players for sure. The lefty Brian Harmon, the great Japanese player Hideki Matsuyama. But there's always somebody that rises to the top. And today it was the Englishman Justin Rose. He birdied starting at 8 of the next 10 holes. When he got off 17, he was 7 under. He parred the 18th hole. He is 7 under on a day when the golf course played impossible and has that 4-stroke lead on Harmon and Matsuyama. And he's got a 5-stroke lead on Zalatoris, Simpson, Bezuidenhout, and Patrick Reed. I'm telling you, there's always somebody, because these guys are so good, that rises to the top. And today it was Justin Rose.
I have to do the unthinkable. I'm kind of here to defend Draymond Green. I could have done without him getting roundly ripped for, one, being honest, and two, having a grasp of most basic economics. The whole women's sports funding thing and the gap in it is largely because of interest and income and rights fees and revenue. When there is more interest, there will be more money.
I could have done without this story. The LSU thing never goes away. In a $50 million federal racketeering lawsuit, an LSU associate athletic director has accused university of officials of retaliating against her for reporting racist remarks and inappropriate sexual behavior by former Tiger football coach Les Miles. Sharon Lewis's lawsuit, $50 million, folks, says she was denied pay raises, subjected to verbal abuse after she went to officials with allegations against Miles, including her accusation that he told her there were too many black girls employed in athletics, and an incident when a female student accused him of getting on top of her in his office. It also accuses LSU officials of working with a law firm to cover up allegations against Miles, including one that he engaged in explicit sex acts with a student. If this stuff is true, she may be in for $50 million.
She sure could be, and it sounds like deserving for her grievance. And I don't think Ed Orgeron makes it to opening day for LSU at the Rose Bowl Stadium against UCLA. Keeping a close eye tonight on the analysis from round one on Live from the Masters on Golf Channel. See what Brandel Chambly has to say about that masterpiece that Justin Rose put up today. Round 2 and 3 could be very different if any weather blows in, but now that sounds sketchy. Lance Lynn on the mound for the Southsiders tonight for Tony La Russa's White Sox against Kansas City, and the second-place Suns at third-place Clippers. Suns closer to first than they are to third. That's on TNT Lake.
That is incredible. Hockey tonight on Valley South Sports, and that is the Predators and the Red Wings. The Red Wings are not very good. That is for certain. That could be a lot of fun to watch. But I'm like you. I'm going to be watching what Justin Rose did so I can see that firsthand. That is absolutely incredible. We want to thank all the people, Doug Bell, who joined us from Augusta, Keith Smith, always brilliant on the NBA from down in Orlando. We've made our baseball picks. Those are in. And we all think highly of the Dodgers. How about the Cardinals and the Yankees in the World Series, according to Brad? That would be a lot of fun. That is for sure. We want to thank Greg Gaston, Talking Tigers. Can't wait for the spring game. A week from tomorrow, and then Steve Earhart with the great story about the father-son combo, the first ever to win that Distinguished Citizen Award that the AutoZone Liberty Bowl puts out every year. It'll be Peyton Manning, front and center, June 6th. At the Hilton. We'll do the same thing again tomorrow. We'll see you then. Have a great night, everybody.
Need to sell your home? You're in luck because I buy houses. All you have to do is call Bill